See, this is what I'm talking about. It's just sort of like this, like, don't you think that's problematic? Like, don't you think women like me are doing? It's like, listen, we don't have time for political correctness. We don't have time
It's not about
to
being politically correct. And they make it personal too. They're not saying you've got to shit out. So many women you don't realize who really, really wants the best for men.
Again, you might alienate a lot of people who would otherwise. And I simply don't understand this. Let's sort of push women to maybe the corner in some capacity. Is that not problematic? I do know many of your views on women, which I find abhorrent. I'm going to be honest. I have to question what kind of a person who's had no experience with women is in a position to basically promote these ideas.
Get back in the kitchen.
I hit a woman for the first time in my life, and I'm having fun.
Gen Z isn't dating. This article is by Christine Emba and read by an automated voice. At least incels cared about getting with the opposite sex. The mostly male, mostly heterosexual looksmaxers, those who have come to dominate social media with their brain-rotted vernacular and impenetrably captioned video clips, seem to have dispensed with relationships entirely. In the late 1990s, self-defined involuntary celibates cared enough about love to define themselves by their lack thereof. They bemoaned the fact that their looks, they felt, prevented them from entering into romantic and sexual relationships. Earnestness doesn't last long on the internet. Today's looksmaxers, next-gen incels schooled in Trump-era nihilism, under-socialized because of COVID-19 lockdowns and radicalized by the manosphere, are obsessed with improving their physical appearance through any means necessary.
Shout out to the manosphere for radicalizing the youth. Yes, the youth are radicalized and they're blaming the manosphere. And I wouldn't have it any other way. What's the point of being young if you're not going to be radical? That is the best time in your life to be radical, because after that, you start to have kids, you pay bills, you got commitments and all these things. Be radical when you're young. And so the youth are becoming more radical. They're blaming the manosphere. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. I want to review a couple of articles. One from the New York Times, it's already playing right now. And then the other from the New York Post. I'm going to have to actually read that one to you, so we'll get to that later. And then we got some other dating shenanigans we're going to go over in the meantime. We're going to fill this thing out. We're going to have a nice, proper show. But I do want to give a big congratulations to the manosphere for radicalizing the youth. I blame you niggas, all right? You niggas have radicalized the youth, and the hoes are mad.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
They speak of aesthetics as destiny and attractiveness, ranked, codified and debated in extreme specificity, as the measure of human worth. Braden Peters, the 20-year-old streamer known as Clavicular, has become the movement's breakout star.
Clavicular's real name is Braden? No. I think it's true. I think it's true. They built this nigga in a lab. They crafted this nigga from one DNA cell on top of another. They built him one molecule at a time. This nigga name is Braden for real? I didn't think people named Braden really existed in the wild.
He claims to have started injecting steroids at age 14 to improve his physique, has dabbled in crystal meth to suppress his appetite, and promotes the technique of hitting oneself in the face with a hammer. It's called bone smashing in the Looksmaxer lexicon, and there's video of him engaging in it.
Yeah, the kids are looksmaxing, bone smashing. They're face mogging. They're Chad blasting. They're doing all kinds of shit.
To heighten cheekbones and create a sharper jawline. But to what end? In one filmed rant, Clavicular described his life as hell, but said he had to looksmax in order to deal with the burden that women in today's hypergamous dating market had put on him. More recently, he confessed to the Times that knowing he could have sex with a woman was perhaps better than the deed itself. It's a big-time saver, he said. You could be forgiven for wondering whether looksmaxers are obsessed with the opposite sex or scared of them. In their focus on the self and detachment from real experiences, looksmaxers intensify the Gen Z approach to romance.
Looksmaxers have intensified the Gen Z approach to romance. You know, it's funny too. I think that's an interesting point. Carmen says, I looksmax. I think women have been looksmaxing for millennia. Honestly, if you read the Bible properly, what you'll understand is that when the fallen angels came down to earth and they started teaching all the magics and witchcraft, they also taught the hoes how to looksmax, okay? Looksmaxing is of the devil. Yeah, I bet you didn't know that. Looksmaxing is low-key witchcraft, which is low-key of the devil. I'm just saying. It's all magical witchcraft.
Or the lack thereof. This generation came of age as the social environment fractured and courtship norms broke down, an environment that made sex scary and unappealing, dating hard to parse, and substitutes for intimacy readily available. For many, online porn was an early introduction to sex, setting emotional detachment and gender antagonism as a standard. The hashtag #MeToo moment, for all its necessity, seeded widespread anxiety among young men and women both. COVID enforced social isolation in their formative years, made practicing real-world relationship skills, romantic and otherwise, nearly impossible. And the rise of dating apps made sure that Gen Zers continued to view all romantic possibilities through the filter of the smartphone screen.
I don't really think it was COVID. I don't think it was the lockdowns. The lockdowns were a big phenomenon. It was a national, cultural, global phenomenon. I don't really want to blame COVID. I don't think that's really what it is. I mean, COVID might have pushed people online a lot sooner, but we were all destined to live in the online bubble anyway. I don't think COVID is the reason why the Gen Zs can't put peg A in the slot B. I don't think that's really what's happening there. I think these are a lot deeper existential societal issues we're dealing with here. And it's a global phenomenon. All across the developed world, birth rates are down. Men and women are fighting. Everything's falling apart. I just don't think it was the lockdown season. I think we can blame other things for that.
Even if they might have preferred otherwise. Parents played a role too, pushing their children to prioritize education and achievement while neglecting to advise on love. And online, where they spent an ever-increasing share of their time, rage-bait relationship content and polarized dating advice filled the gap. Influencers on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube and streaming sites like Kick, where Clavicular brings in more than $100,000 a month, dispense warnings about bops, those with many sexual partners, exegesis on the importance of body count.
That's an interesting philosophical point. Let's stop for a minute here. Bluff City Nerd with the foul ball. He has a great question. Isn't simple diet and exercise the base form of looks maxing? If so, that's what a lot of people do. And I would tend to think you're probably right? Like there's like natural attractiveness and beauty, right? And then there's like maintaining that, which means, stay in shape to a relative degree. Don't bruise your face up, ladies. Don't get fat. Don't go make yourself ugly like Demi Lovato or any of these modern chicks, right? Don't do that. And I think it's sort of like I think the ancient Greeks were maybe one of the first cultures to kind of not so much looks max, but appreciate the idea of the natural beauty of the human physical form. And the reason why I mentioned witchcraft and the devil and all that kind of thing earlier is what I was talking about is kind of taking that to a greater extreme with like things like makeup, things like reconstructive surgery, things like that, where you're not even dealing with the base model anymore. You're now adding essentially unnatural features to the base model, which is sort of like with the guy clavicular bone smashing. Who would have ever thought smashing your cheekbones was a strategy to improve your physical beauty, right? That is of the devil. That is some witchcraft shit. And so I do think there may have to be a fine line between just being naturally attractive and attempting to maintain that versus becoming the cat lady.
Number of people someone has slept with, and the dangers of simping, being excessively attentive or submissive to an uninterested love object. constructing entirely new categories by which to sort and judge potential mates. Layer on top of all this a broader feeling of precariousness and anxiety about the future, and their place in it, when traditional paths to stability and status seem to be slipping away. By this logic, it makes more sense to turn inward than to make oneself vulnerable, to nihilistically max rather than actually encounter the other. In men, that begins to look like onanistic self-optimization as a means of taking control and a fear-based of.
All right, I hate when the New York Times starts using big words that even I can't understand. What is onanistic? What was that? What do you even mean by that? Now I gotta hit ChatGPT just to read the New York Times. What are we doing here?
Hence warnings about bops, those with many sexual partners, exegesis on the importance of body count, the number of people someone has slept with, and the dangers of simping, being excessively attentive or submissive to an uninterested love object, constructing entirely new categories by which to sort and judge potential mates.
You guys are mad that we popularized the term simping. And let me explain something to you about the concept of linguistics, right? And this is a linguistic strategy, rather. This is something that I noticed the left wing has done for a while. They will define a particular concept, give it a name, and then once you've sort of framed it and named it, you then go on the attack. And you attack it so long and for with such animosity that over time it just becomes a de facto bad thing, right? This is why everybody hates white people right now. Literally, that's what's been happening. And so if you take a word like simping and then you define it, you frame it and define it, you name it and frame it, right? You have to define the concept, which basically is laid out. Men who are paying way too much attention to women with very little to even nothing in exchange, right? Men who are overly submissive to women, men who are just overly kind, men who would constantly favor women over men.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
And now that we have defined the thing, we have named it, we have framed it, and now we can go on to blame it. And this is what's been done with the concept of simping. It's a very effective linguistic strategy. It's a linguistic attack. It works very well. The circle has been completed, and all they can do is be bitter about it.
Layer on top of all this a broader feeling of precariousness and anxiety about the future, and their place in it, when traditional paths to stability and status seem to be slipping away. By this logic, it makes more sense to turn inward than to make oneself vulnerable, to nihilistically max rather than actually encounter the other. In men, that begins to look like onanistic self-optimization as a means of taking control and a fear-based avoidance of the opposite sex that presents as resentfulness and misogyny. Women are demeaned as mercenary foids, short for female humanoids, in Luxmaxer parlance.
Women are demeaned as mercenary foids. I think women are relatively mercenary-like. I think that's just a natural part of the female makeup. To deny the mercenary nature of woman is to deny woman. And denying women is gay. So you have to accept the mercenary nature of woman. We cannot just allow ourselves to deny woman and her complete miserable glory, all right? They are beautiful mercenary creatures and we love them anyway, even when it hurts. Hell, we love them until it hurts. That's how that usually goes. But they are mercenaries nonetheless. It's a biological evolutionary phenomenon that is the female animal. They have to survive and they're not as strong as us, right? So that creates a type of mercenary nature where they will wave their flag wherever they land. It just is what it is. It's because we have refused to properly accept and engage with the mercenary nature of woman. This is why we have these online spaces where men are wondering what the hell happened to me. It's because you forgot she was low-key a mercenary.
And their place in it, when traditional paths to stability and status seem to be slipping away. By this logic, it makes more sense to turn inward than to make oneself vulnerable, to nihilistically max rather than actually encounter the other. In men, that begins to look like onanistic self-optimization as a means of taking control and a fear-based avoidance of the opposite sex that presents as resentfulness and misogyny. Women are demeaned as mercenary foids, short for female humanoids, in Luxmaxer parlance, better insulted than engaged with. And women, for their part, are moving away from the corporeal entirely, celebrating yearning rather than in-person relationships.
Now, this is why I really resent how the mainstream articles approach this stuff. They act as if this whole toxic online male culture developed in a bubble. No, this whole thing is a part of a continuum. The women struck first, they struck deep, and they struck long ago. Women started running away with kids and practicing reproductive health care. Women have been on a warpath for a long time, and the government has been moving in whatever way it could manage to support women. And men have finally started to realize the game may actually be rigged. Like, what are we supposed to do? Keep losing nobly? We're supposed to just lose with honor?
Decentering men and solo romanticizing their own lives, it's a tendency that made Wuthering Heights, Emerald Fennell's smutty fanfic interpretation of the classic romantic novel, a Valentine's weekend blockbuster. It's not a movie to watch with a date, as the review site Vulture put it, masturbation on the moors for the win. In the most recent issue of The Point magazine, the Gen Z writer Mana Afsari recounted meeting right-of-center men with this mindset in the wild. At a party in Washington, D.C., they've had all summer to pursue opportunities in real life, but the forms of gender-specific discourse that had given them consolation were more gratifying or familiar than the opportunity to encounter real and receptive women. Instead, they talked about the abstract women, archetypes they'd read about online, who would always hurt them. She continues, instead of clarifying standards, raising our aspirations, or giving us expectations of dignity and love, the online discourse has built upon decades of gender wars to leave Gen Zers largely alien to each other, afraid and alone.
You know the problem with the gender war thing? And the women don't want to give up, but the men ultimately have to win. It's a very odd moment we found ourselves in as a culture, as a society, or whatever. But think about it. Think about the problem of like men submitting to women, right? Which is ultimately men losing the gender war, right? If men lose the gender war, it is an ultimate submission, or even worse, a conquest of and by women. And women, given their nature, cannot happily coexist with men that they have conquered. Women cannot happily coexist with men who are submissive to them. Submissive, conquered men only creates tyrannical, abusive women. And so for the sake of everybody, men have to win the gender war. But like I said, women don't want to quit. Women aren't just going to stop. And so it's up to the men to just kind of overpower the women in some type of capacity. But it's like it will require men doing the unthinkable and the impossible. You have to touch the untouchable, break the unbreakable, shake the unshakable. Tovey, baby, you have to do all these things. And these niggas just ain't ready. These niggas just ain't ready to do the impossible yet.
Women, archetypes they'd read about online, who would always hurt them. She continues, instead of clarifying standards, raising our aspirations, or giving us expectations of dignity and love, the online discourse has built upon decades of gender wars to leave Gen Zers largely alien to each other, afraid and alone. Multiple studies show that young people aren't dating, having sex, or forming partnerships. A recent survey of young adults from the Institute for Family Studies and Brigham Young University's Wheatley Institute found that only 30% of its respondents were actively dating, despite about half of them indicating that they were interested in finding a relationship. They cited a lack of confidence in what the researchers termed dating efficacy. Less than 40% believed themselves to be attractive to potential partners or felt comfortable discussing their feelings with them.
Less than 40% of men feel attractive to women. It's like the 80-20 thing just won't go away. Is the 80-20 rule like a curse? Is it more of a prophecy than an observation? Are we cursing these niggas to be ugly forever?
Young University's Wheatley Institute found that only 30% of its respondents were actively dating, despite about half of them indicating that they were interested in finding a relationship. They cited a lack of confidence in what the researchers termed dating efficacy. Less than 40% believed themselves to be attractive to potential partners or felt comfortable discussing their feelings with them. Only around a quarter felt confident in approaching a potential partner or in their ability to stay positive after a dating setback, a rejection, a bad date, or a breakup. If trends continue, 1 in 3 adults currently in their 20s will never marry.
You know, the thing about breakups and men in particular, and I think maybe this is a little bit documented, but women, at least it seems like women bounce back from breakups a lot quicker, a lot easier than men. Women seem to go from man to man like a butterfly landing on different flowers, whereas like, how easy is it for a flower to get a butterfly to land on you for a minute? You know, I'm just sitting here with all this pollen built up and I just need a butterfly to land. Just come sit on it. Just why don't you just sit on it for a little while? Like it's a lot more difficult, I think, for a lot of guys. And with all the modern exacerbations of social media and all these women having all these opportunities and options that they never had before, it's really making things a lot more difficult. It's a lot harder to get the butterfly to sit on your pollen.
A date or a breakup. If trends continue, 1 in 3 adults currently in their 20s will never marry, contributing to an epidemic of loneliness that is already generationally acute. For younger adults, romance has turned into something to be debated, theorized, and optimized for, but not actually engaged in. As Gen Z retreats into itself while pretending to focus on the other, the delta between the sexes grows wider. Christine Emba is a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute.
Wow, that was the New York Times article, "The Reason Gen Z Isn't Dating." Hey, Sulzan, it is what it is, man. Generation cooked. Now, I want to move on to the New York Post. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break. We're not even going to move on to the New York Post. I didn't even give you guys a proper introduction into the show. I want to start this thing over again. Thank you all for coming out. We're talking about Gen Z, dating, mating, and all kinds of other issues and shenanigans. We got a nice show for you guys today. It is a Friday. Appreciate you guys coming out. I had one other video I want to jump to real quick just to kind of break up the energy, lighten up the mood. Think we might be up here for a while today. It's an ugly Friday. Got a little bit of a musical piece I want to share with you guys. I find the most insane things on the internet, and every now and then I just have to share them with you. Like the video, guys. We'll be right back in a hot second. Ah, that just cracked me up. I just had to go there with you guys, man. Let's get back into some dating drama.
Dating as a biracial woman is extremely hard, and I'm going to tell you why. Listen to my personal experience, my personal opinion. This hopefully doesn't offend anyone, but
did you know the biracials have drama? Everybody's having a hard time dating. Everybody's lonely and dry.
Okay, dating is so hard because of assumption. What is assumption? The assumption is certain ethnicities date certain ethnicities, right? And I mean, that is true. Like, I mean, a frat guy, sorority girl, like you get what I'm trying to say? Because I don't want to say anything that sounds racist, right? So there's a lot of assumptions. So what I've learned recently is a lot of men make this assumption about me that I am only into black guys. So it's like, they don't know if they want to risk it, right? And I feel the same way because a lot of guys, I'm like, oh, maybe they're only into white girls. And I get it. It's terrible that we think this way, but that is how dating is, right? So dating is hard for me because being biracial is hard, even though you might not think so, but you haven't lived as me. You're in the middle, so it's hard. But keep in mind this, right? People assume I only date black guys. And I get it. I had a black boyfriend. I've mainly been with black guys. And so I would be like, oh yeah, she likes black guys, okay? And then this is what I want to talk about. Pretend I have a pie chart, okay? This pie chart is showing the men that like me, the men that hit me up, the men that come, which is very, very little, but I would say it's like 93% black men, okay? And there's different types of those, right? And I'll put African in there too. Then there's like maybe 5% Hispanic and then like 2% other, right? So we have this pie chart of who likes me, right? But then we also have the assumptions, like she only likes black girls. So with that, these other people look at me and they're like, well, she's only been with that, like da-da-da-da. So I'm not going to approach her because da-da-da-da. So I'm telling you, assumptions is ruining dating, and it's hard because I'm biracial. So that's what I'm trying to say. And I hate it because I don't discriminate. I love me a white boy. I do. I used to in middle school. Then I strayed away from it, and now I'm back. I'm back, right? But dating is so hard because white men do not approach me.
Damn. It's like her genes are pulling her in different directions. What the hell? My bad, y'all. I just totally pressed the wrong button. Let me bring that back up for you. But it's like her genes are pulling her in two different directions. Remember that Michael Jackson song back in the day? It's black, it's white. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just get in where you fit in, I guess.
So with that, these other people look at me and they're like, well, she's only been with that, like da-da-da-da. So I'm not going to approach her because da-da-da-da. So I'm telling you, assumptions is ruining dating, and it's hard because I'm biracial. So that's what I'm trying to say. And I hate it because I don't discriminate. I love me a white boy. I do. I used to in middle school. Then I strayed away from it, and now I'm back. I'm back, right? But dating is so hard because white men do not approach me. They're not on my phone. They're not on my DMs. I don't get approached by them. And this is not a video to like, hey, approach me. No, I'm just sharing my experience because I want it. Like, I'm like, does anyone else relate? Like, does anyone else get it that we have to stop making assumptions and just, if we think someone is pretty, we think someone is pretty. But I think, because the thing is, it's just, y'all, there's like gotta be some whole like research about this, because I'm telling you, like for a white guy, he can approach a Hispanic girl and a Hispanic girl would, she probably would like him or whatever. But it's just different with white and black, y'all. It is really different. I really don't.
This is a philosophical question. Alex Rose, I guess maybe. You said she's a divester, right? If you have literally white and black genes, if you're half white and half black, are you really divesting? I don't know if we can consider mixed people divestors. It doesn't quite ring, it doesn't work well. Like if a person is white and they get with another white person, there is no divestment there. So if you're half white and you get with another white person, there's no divestment there. Hell, if she gets with a black person, is she divesting from white people? I don't think that's how that works. It just kind of you're in a gray area. It's just a gray area.
I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm talking in circles, but my whole life experience, I've never really been approached by white guys, and I've never been one to be like, oh, I'm not pretty or da da da. I know I have a lot to offer, but it's the assumption thing. It really is, and it's ruining dating because we assume before we even get a word out. We assume before we even talk to someone that they wouldn't like us or yada hoo yada ha because of our skin color. Who cares about skin color? Like, can we be in a black and white film right now where everyone is just a little shade lighter or darker? Like, I'm so sick of it. Like, it creates this fear too. Like, you know, like you don't even know how to talk to someone.
You know, it's so interesting, Carmen. I think you're really onto something. She's trying to enhance her white alignment. I don't think she's properly accessed the white side of her genetic structure. She has to get in touch with her white roots if she wants to properly lure a white man. She has to do more Becky stuff. I don't know, maybe that's the problem. Something about her is giving black, and she wants to give Karen. She doesn't quite understand how to access her her Karen genetic structure. And that's really, it's a skill issue. It really is a skill issue that she's trans Becky. Oh God, you guys are killing me, trans Becky.
Because you automatically put this rejection in your mind. And maybe it's just me. Maybe it's been my experience since predominantly only one ethnicity has ever really approached me, and I wouldn't even say pursued, because girl, I ain't got pursued for real. But like, I just want a man of God, okay? I want a man of God who I'm attracted to. You know, like, I hope so. So yeah, I know that was a long tangent, but like, really think.
Lonely girls tend to go off on long tangents. It's all right. We forgive.
Has ever really approached me, and I wouldn't even say pursued, because girl, I ain't got pursued for real. But like, I just want a man of God, okay? I want a man of God who I'm attracted to. You know, like, I hope so. So yeah, I know that was a long tangent, but like, really think about it. Please don't comment some like weird, like, I don't know.
Baby, what is the internet supposed to say to you? Why are we supposed to really think about it? How can we help you get a white man? What the fuck are we supposed to do for you? Are we supposed to start a dating network? You should go on Pop the Balloon. How come white people don't pop the balloon, by the way? I don't think I've ever seen a round of all white Pop the Balloon. Does anybody have any explanation for that? Why don't white people pop the balloon? How come only black people on the internet are popping balloons? What's up with that? We should start a white pop the balloon show for trans Becky right here. I wonder what a white pop the balloon show would look like, actually. I would love to see 12 white people doing pop the balloon. Yeah, I know black people invented it, but you're going to say white folks stole everything anyway. Let's just hurry it up. Let's speed the timeline up on this one. This white folks go and still pop the balloon. The shit's already on Netflix. They low-key stole it anyway. They just let you keep a black face on it. White people already stole Pop the Balloon. Well, they bought it. White people own Pop the Balloon anyway, so it's only a matter of time before we get some Beckys and some Kens and some Chads up there Wait until white people do pop the balloon. That shit's gonna be like $1 billion enterprise once white folk get on it. They're gonna forget you niggas ever pop balloons. Watch. Wait till they start putting white. Wait till it's gonna be like 12 blondes, 3 brunettes, and a redhead. Show's gonna be over. They're gonna totally forget about you niggas.
I'm attracted to, you know, like I hope so. So yeah, I know that was a long tangent, but like, really think about it. Please don't comment some like weird, like, I don't know, because I've gotten the weird comments my whole life. People practically just telling me that I have it easy because I'm biracial, and I do not believe that. I believe everyone, no matter what color, skin color they have, can have advantages and disadvantages. But yeah, I just wish I could wear a sign that's like, I don't discriminate.
Oh God. Oh, the face you make when you try to get you a white boy. That is her game face. Look at that shit. That is her game face right there. That's that white man come hither look. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. This is so Shorty, listen, stay in the game. Hang in there, girl. Hang in there, Trans Becky. You will get one. I got faith in Trans Becky. I think she's gonna be all right. I think she's gonna be all right. She's just having a temporary skill issue. She hasn't quite figured out how to weave all of her good parts together. She's gonna work it out. But you know what? You know what, Trans Becky, you are not alone. You are not alone. And I found another. Yeah, yes, there is another.
I just walked out of a date. You want to know why? Of course you do. Because what else do you want to hear about on a Tuesday afternoon? Happy Black History Month, by the way. So basically, we were talking about racism. Yes, he's a white man. He was telling me about how he has a bunch of Black friends and they don't really bring up racism. And I was like, oh, well, it's likely that they just don't talk about it around you. They don't feel comfortable talking about it with you, or they don't want to offend you or whatever. Like, it's not that they never talk about it. Or
no, it's genuinely, a lot of us just don't care like that. A lot of us just genuinely don't care about that. And racism is really starting to become a girl thing. I firmly believe that. Generally speaking, not all. There's some still, you know, there's some standalone diehard cases out there. God bless those guys. But racism is generally a girl thing at this point. Fighting racism, feeling feelings about racism, deeply believing that you've been racially oppressed, it's a feminine fantasy at this point. And only girls should be having it.
Black friends, and they don't really bring up racism. And I was like, oh, well, it's likely that they just don't talk about it around you. They don't feel comfortable talking about it with you, or they don't want to offend you or whatever. Like, it's not that they never talk about it or think about it. And he's like, well, I highly doubt that. I think that they just don't really think about it. And I'm like, you can't speak for them. You can't speak on their experience. And I said something like, Black people that try to deny racism and deny the Black experience in order to appeal to white acceptance, you know, we call them coons, and that's very embarrassing. And he was like, that's racist. And I was like, that's not racist. I just walked out of a date.
You know, Freeman's Journal, I think you are absolutely spot on, though. Freeman says, I have plenty of white friends, and white people hate talking about race like they get the hives. Having to discuss the difference between ninjas and Black people causes them cold sweats. And she low-key brought up that type of topic on her date, calling Black people coons, to her white boyfriend, who was probably just a decent guy. He's like, why are you niggas like this? But he couldn't say that out loud. He could only think it. He had to say something polite and Caucasian. So she could see right through him and know it wasn't going to work. It wasn't going to work. And there's another reason why dating is so difficult in the modern world. And I'm just having a little bit of fun with these biracial chicks right now. But really, I think women as a group have become woke to the point of being unmanageable, unlikable, undateable, undesirable even. Woke women are the least lovable, least likable women. Some of them still attractive, some of them still look good, but they're horrible, horrible, disgusting people on the inside, and there's nothing you can do to fix that.
The worst part about having a type is the fact that I want a white country boy, but all the white country boys, well, like 99% of them are racist and Christian, and all of the like liberals, which I would prefer, are like not that attractive. Literally without fail, every single time I'm like, damn, he's fine. I scroll down and it's like Christian conservative. Or like I'll be looking down because I'm like, well, let me make sure this person is liberal before I even think about swiping right. And I look at the picture and it's like.
And you know what's crazy? Again, this is the same chick from the other video, I think, but she wants the white guys. She can get the white guys, but the white guys just aren't gay enough for her. They're a little too white, little too Christian. Nice truck though.
Scroll down and it's like Christian conservative. Or like I'll be looking down because I'm like, well, let me make sure this person is liberal before I even think about swiping right. And I look at the picture and it's like, it's less than favorable. I'll say that. Like, why is it so hard to find a fine country boy who wears a gold chain, got leg tattoos, and cares about women's rights, black people, and gay people?
Like I said, she wants a white boy, but she kind of wants a gay one. She doesn't really understand the animal that she's hunting. You know, if you want to be a good hunter, you have to understand the nature of the beast that you're after. And she just doesn't want to put these ideas together that the kind of men that she actually desires are the same exact kind of men that she's been shitting on her whole life, basically. And this actually kind of, this is the ironic thing about feminists. We kind of been noticing this phenomenon with these staunch, diehard feminist chicks. They love the most toxically masculine men that they can get their hands on. And so she's kind of having that feminist revelation right now. Yes, that is the car seat in the back. Good observation. She's having that feminist revelation right now. The kinds of men that get her all juicy inside are the racist men that she thinks she hates. You're just going to have to make peace with that, all right? Your body wants what your body wants, damn it.
Because I'm like, well, let me make sure this person is liberal before I even think about swiping right. And I look at the picture and it's like, it's less than favorable. I'll say that. Like, why is it so hard to find a fine country boy who wears a gold chain, got leg tattoos, and cares about women's rights, black people, and gay people? I'm fucking doomed, I swear to God. The worst part.
The bitterness. Straight bitterness.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
People think she's using me for my money.
I like nice things. He likes getting them from me.
She popped up on Facebook and her picture grabbed my attention. I sent her a message and basically said, like, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
So why did you offer Bethany $50 for her number?
At that point in my life, I had just started my career. I didn't really know what I had to offer other than money, so that's what I went with.
I think for the first 6 years of us.
You know, it's a fascinating phenomenon. I don't know how to wrap my mind around it. On the one hand, women are telling us that these white men are so hard to get. White men are so difficult to attract. It's like hunting a unicorn in a desert or something. And then on the other hand, white guys are just falling into chicks' laps like on accident. Which one is it?
People think she's using me for my money.
I like nice things. He likes getting them for me.
She popped up on Facebook and her picture grabbed my attention. I sent her a message and basically said, like, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
So why did you offer Bethany $50 for her number?
At that point in my life, I had just started my career. I didn't really know what I had to offer other than money, so that's what I went with.
I think for the first 6 years of us talking to each other, we weren't dating, we were both single. He catered to everything that I wanted and I needed, would you say?
Yeah, I sent you whatever you needed.
So like hairstyles, nails, things for school, stuff like that. He just made sure I was good.
This
Over
is
the
how
past
you fall in love, guys. This is how you secure the woman and the bag. Hey, is $50 really that much money? I mean, considering when you want to love, when you want to fall in love and you're like pudgy and 35 years old, how much is $50 really? I mean, if you think about it, $50 is only $10 more than $40, right? He's kind of in 40 ball territory. Now, all that other money on the screen, I don't know what the hell happened with that. But how much is $50 for love is all I'm saying.
6 years, I've sent Bethany about $100,000 in Cash App transactions and gifts.
$100,000. She's a literal Scarface. This nigga spent $100,000 on a Scarface bit. I can't believe it. Can you see? Look, let me big screen that up for you. $100,000 on a Scarface, bro. Nigga spent 100 racks on Black Al Pacino. No way. That's way, you know how many 40 balls that is, bro? How many times does 40 go into 100,000? Let me run this by ChatGPT real quick. 40 divided by 100,000. .04. That doesn't give me the actual answer I want. How many times can 100,000 be divided evenly, that's the proper term, by 40? 2,540 balls. Oh my God. 2,540 balls. No, you know how many, oh my God, all the that is a lifetime supply of 40 balls, man. I can't imagine, I couldn't even calculate how fast I would burn through, how slow I would burn through 2,540 balls.
How do it equivalent?
Stuff like that. He just made sure I was good.
Over the past 6 years, I've sent Bethany about $100,000 in Cash App transactions and gifts.
At the beginning of this, it was truly just transactional. I was just very young and like just excited that a man was like willing to spend his money on me.
At the beginning, it was truly transactional, meaning it was pay for play. And then he promoted the hooker to the long-term living girlfriend experience. I didn't even realize that was a level of sex work that you could buy. Like everybody, like the girlfriend experience is a relatively known concept here, where like you can pay for like the physical act of sex, right? And then for just a few dollars more, you can pay her to pretend that she loves you, right? That's basically what the girlfriend experience is, I guess, right? Now, it seems like he paid for an extended semi-lifetime contract girlfriend experience. This nigga got the long-term living girlfriend experience.
Just knowing that I would always be okay. That was number one. Seeing who he is, not just the guy that sends me money, but like the guy that loves Harry Potter and the guy that likes the Star Wars.
Oh, look at him. Look how he smiles when she talks about Harry Potter and Star Wars. And you look exactly like the kind of guy who is very much into Harry Potter and Star Wars, by the way. This nigga got Harry Potter Star Wars physiognomy. This is a Harry Potter built nigga. This is a Dumbledore built nigga. This is a Muggle built nigga. This nigga is a Muggle. Muggle built nigga. This nigga got Muggle physiognomy. Oh my God. Shout out to Free Zone Lou with the 20 ball. The white man's tricking is colder. Shaking my head. Hashtag cucked and cooked. The World of Warcraft tricking. This thing is Warcraft cucking. Bro. How far would you go to fall in love, Free Zone? Don't judge a man until you walk the mile in his lonely Harry Potter boots, bro. Do not judge a man until you walk the mile in his lonely Star Wars gear. You don't know what it's like, Free Zone. Girls probably like you anyway.
Seeing who he is, not just the guy that sends me money, but like the guy that loves Harry Potter and the guy that likes the Star Wars.
I just can't get over Free Zone. I can't get over 2,540 balls, bro.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. And we don't care. We don't care. It costs a lot of money.
It costs a lot of money to fall in love in Gen Z, y'all. That's what we're learning. It costs a lot of money to find the black love of your life.
Like the guy that loves Harry Potter and the guy that likes the Star Wars. Seeing that he has a good personality and he's very kind and patient with me, it was very easy to catch feelings for him.
Oh, she caught feelings. You catch that, y'all? She caught feelings like they were just falling out of the sky and she caught them. Yeah. She caught feelings. After 2,540 balls, she caught feelings. What if the stripper really could love you? You know what? Maybe you niggas just never tried hard enough. You niggas ain't never came into the strip club with the equivalent of 2,540 balls. That's why you think the stripper could never love you, because you ain't never came real enough. You ain't never hit a stripper with 2,540 balls like bam. That's why the strippers don't really love you, because you never really came hard enough. If you actually got your shit together, like the Star Wars Harry Potter fan over here, maybe the stripper could love you too. Tired of you niggas not getting your shit together, blaming the strippers like the stripper did something wrong. Strippers are never wrong.
There seems to be a split over Gen Z women dating emotionally laid back, so-called nonchalant boyfriends.
Gen Z women only want to date Chad. Gen Z women only want to date men who have other women. Gen Z women only want to date men who are confident enough to not give a fuck about them.
There seems to be a split over Gen Z women dating emotionally laid back, so-called nonchalant boyfriends. Apparently, some people see it as a red flag. But a woman wrote an article in The Independent claiming she's glad she's dating one because they balance each other out. So the question is, where do you stand on this?
Well, I have a nonchalant husband, but I have enough chalant for two of us, so we're fine.
That's good.
He's not an over-the-top guy, but I dated people like that. And
That's a great question. What does chalant mean? Like, if a person is nonchalant, can another person, because to be nonchalant would imply the existence of a pro-chalant somewhere. And I'm curious as to what chalant actually means. Chalant is an informal slang term used as the playful opposite of nonchalant. It means concerned, attentive, emotionally invested, or enthusiastic. 1, 2, 3, 4 things that you should not be to the woman that you just met. It means you give a F about things. Yeah. Don't do that. How you gonna tell the white man what words are real and ain't real? It's right here in the white man's internet, bro. Chalant is an informal slang term. You think white men don't have slang? These are the white people's words, bro. How you gonna tell a white man his words ain't real? It's his language, nigga. What do you mean chalant ain't a word? Keep up, brother. Keep up. The white man be creating words every day.
and they were never the right match. So I assume the nonchalant works.
So nonchalant means what? That they're not on
They're not
social
like
media.
they're not going to do
Right.
the overtly like big displays
grand
of affection, like
gestures.
engage on like a billboard and things like that.
Big arrangements.
I'm going to
and
tell
that
you
kind
this,
of thing.
guys. Be careful with people who do like professions of love on social media. I have a friend who's on TV, in Spanish TV. She was,
I
putting
know
out
that
Oh,
one.
this great tweet on this great Instagram post on her anniversary about what a wonderful husband she had, how wonderful everything
Yeah.
was, and the next week she found out he was cheating.
Oh, you got love bombed by a cheater. Damn. Ah, well, divorce him and take his money.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd
I
rather than be
remember-
quiet and loyal than
Okay.
loud
I remember
and cheating.
I remember you told me that story. And I have the same thing. I think there's a difference between loud love and quiet love. And I too have a nonchalant husband, been married 27 years, and that quiet love has worked for me.
Oh. Quiet Love sounds like an R&B album. Remember the 90s when R&B songs used to be good?
Yeah, I don't need the grand gestures. I can buy myself the things. I love the steady.
That we know.
Steady, right? I love the steadiness of it.
I think there's enough chalants at this table.
Yes.
So the counterparts probably have to be a little more chill. And
Yeah.
calm does not mean cold. So
Oh,
I
that's an
appreciate a
important
good,
distinction.
calm, steadfast man like my Tim. So,
Yeah,
because I'm
yeah.
enough. I'm enough.
Yeah.
I am enough.
I'm enough. I'm enough chalants.
They're all chalant. All these chalant hoes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Lord, pray for the chalant women out there. What are the women gonna do? You know, the women are busy being girl bossy and chalant. And apparently the young men are just watching adult content all day long. This is the new thing the chicks are blaming. Men are busy watching adult content rather than dealing with overtly chalant women.
Porn has taken over the dating for men.
We went and we decided that we were going to go and celebrate singles and play music for them and have a nice time for them at the paddle court. And the majority of people that showed up, 90% were women.
90% were
Were
women.
women. So if
Oh, you can't get men to show up to your singles event? Tragedy. I keep hearing this over and over and over. You would think they would get the lesson. Men don't really like to show up to cattle call dating events. It just doesn't appeal to your male hunter strategy. Women are going to have to try some other approach. Men just, someone asked me this before too, like, would I ever go to a dating event? And I said I would go just for the experience of it. I want to see, I want to really, like, I would like to smell the smell of 40 desperate single women alone in a room together. Like, I would go just so I could breathe it in. Like, I just want to walk in the door like I really am curious about it, but generally speaking, no, that shit is not an attractive environment.
Porn has taken over the dating for men.
we went and we decided that we were going to go and celebrate singles and play music for them and have a nice time for them at the paddle court. And the majority of people that showed up, 90% were women.
90% were
Were
women.
women. So if I used to run singles events and the biggest problem that I had with my singles events was getting men to the singles events.
Ben, the reason why they're not going into these singles events and are not putting themselves out there is that men would rather get off from pornography,
I reckon,
than they would meet normal people. Porn has taken over.
Now, notice this is the black lady. She may be the host of this show. This is like her hypothesis, and the white woman who's the guest, I'm not sure, what her professional title is, but she just says, I reckon. Like, she just goes off with it. It's a working, running assumption that these men would rather spank bait than go to your little social gathering.
This problem that I had with my singles events was getting men to the singles events.
Ben, the reason why they're not going into these singles events and are not putting themselves out there is that men would rather get off from pornography,
I reckon,
than they would meet normal people. Porn has taken over the dating for men.
The profile, how we look at people, and what is desirable for us. Porn shifts that, changes that. We call it the arousal template. So what somebody may start off watching porn in their teens or early 20s completely changes when they're 30, 40 years old. And so what arouses them changes. So they may say, I like petite Asian women in their 20s. In their 30s, they may say, I like robust white women with big busts. Because of that, the way that porn works with the brain, it needs more and more novelty in order for it to be more and more of a turn on. So it changes, and that very, very vanilla porn may be where somebody starts, and often they land up watching stuff that they'd actually feel ashamed of talking to other people about what they're watching. If we look at the development of men and women, right? Women are socially, or girls are socially, what's the word I'm looking for? We are,
would you say socially engineered?
Yes, we're developed as social beings. Women are more social than what boys are, right? If you look at the construct of how we're developed, if you look at the developmental stages and ages of children, you'll see that girls are more socially they're better socially than what boys are. Oh, I'm struggling. I need dinner, guys. So I think there are a couple of things. I think that porn has definitely affected arousal templates. It's affected people's confidence in dating. I think that it's cheaper. It's cheaper to watch porn than to take somebody out on a date, or to even go on a date and have your hair done and everything.
Now, this is a reality. I think that's just a brutal fact for a lot of women in the modern realm. Much as women have options that allow them to put back dating for marriage, the options that would allow them to hold off on selecting a proper long-term boyfriend, you know, they don't have to settle down with a stable, decent guy when they're young and they're beautiful and they're hot in their 20s. They can wait until their mid-30s to do that because they have so many options, right? And they feel righteous and empowered in all these decisions. Well, now men have options as well. And you may not like the options that men have. The options may seem distasteful and unsavory to you because, you know, you're perfect feminine beings of light, but the men have options now.
And I think that COVID had such a massive impact on us socially, men and women.
Again, blaming the virus. It's not the virus, and I don't even think it's the movies. It's the female empowerment. We put a little bit too much empowerment into the female body population, and they've run amok.
And I think that single men that went into COVID single, I think have really struggled post-COVID, trying to be more social and putting themselves out there. I cannot tell you, Faith, if I could have a database of men, just men on my database, I would be able to pair them up with 3, 4, 5 women like this.
A lot of the guys are not asking the girls out. A lot of the guys are watching porn, and the woman.
I'm telling you, I think this is a giant cope, though. Like, as bad and it is as prolific as the adult industry may be. And listen, honestly, I wouldn't even say gun to my head. If you just asked me whether or not this whole thing should be banned, I would say, yeah, as a country, as a culture, we'd be better off just banning the whole thing. But at the same time, I'm like, I think you're coping a bit right here. You're coping way too hard right now.
Men on my database, I would be able to pair them up with 3, 4, 5 women like this.
A lot of the guys are not asking the girls out. A lot of the guys are watching porn, and the women are the ones that are showing up saying, hey, pick me, I'm here. I want to go out on a date with you. I want to get to know you. I want to get married. But you're saying the men are the ones that are preferring to watch pornography than put themselves out there.
That's my understanding.
You know why they could never ban female sex toys? FaceBack says you have to ban female sexual aids. You know why they could never ban that? Because they literally grow out of the ground. Imagine banning cucumbers and carrots, bro. You can never ban the female toys. It came from nature. You can't ban nature.
Leave your MAGA husband, but cheat on him first. Cheat with his brother or his best friend, whichever's worse. Cheat on your MAGA. He doesn't deserve your kitty, meow meow. It's time for you to hit the road, but let's leave a lasting impact before you go and cheat on your husband. Cheat with someone who is more successful than him. Cheat on your husband and take a picture while you're getting plowed. Cheat on your husband and leave that MAGA in the...
Ms. Cantrell, that's actually a great observation too. As much as men get the charge of being, quote, porn brained, I think women are just as much, if not more. It may be not all, but there is probably a selection of women who are even more porn brained than the men, because male sexual content is pretty straightforward. You know, peg A, slot B, repeat until complete. Women have a very emotionally entangling sexual adult content world. Because women don't just watch people bang. Women create entire fantasies about milking strange anamorphic creatures on a dairy farm. Men just like sex in general. Women take sex into areas that become almost mythology. They really do like almost mythologize sexual encounters and stuff. So when it comes to like the female sexual brain, yeah, I do think there's an argument that a certain amount of women are even more porn brained than the men. You know, because like I said, men are pretty much straightforward. Peg A, slot B, repeat until complete. Women build up entire fantasy realms. Women are basically the George R.R. Martin of adult content. They will create an entire Game of Thrones universe just to bang a dragon. And we call this empowerment.
Even thought that it was even just sitting here thinking about how I went to singles night at church and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people. Even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women, all types, shapes and sizes, literally African-American women, like a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like, this has to be like a simulation. Is that the word I want to use? I think so. Like, I'm confused and I'm like low-key, like nervous, like for us. We should for myself, fuck y'all. Because where are the men? Where are the men? Then again, don't know. Never mind. Don't. We know where they at. Bye.
It just occurred to me, a church with 1,000 single women is probably not a church. It's more likely a coven. This is a witch's coven. This is not an actual church. Look at her chest. Titty tattoos, looking for a man of God. This is not a church. This is not a church. I'm just saying, you got 1,000 single women in one building. That is not a church. They are not looking for Jesus in that building. Never in the history of the world has that many women gathered together in one place looking for the Lord. I refuse to believe it, and you are not going to sell me that dream.
At church, and it was hundreds. I mean, at least 1,000. First, I thought it was 500, but the pastor said it was 1,000 singles in attendance. Like, are we all living the same life at this point? Because I've never been in a room with that many single people. Even thought that it was even, I thought I was like the only one left. I mean, beautiful women, all types, shapes and sizes, literally African-American women, like a room full of singles. And I'm like, this has to be an experiment. Like, this has to be like a simulation. Is that the word I want to use? I think so. Like, I'm confused and I'm like low-key, like nervous, like for us. We should for myself, fuck y'all. Because where are the men? Where are the men? Then again, don't know. Never mind. Don't. We know where they at. Bye.
Where are the men? Oh, what's going on, SKC? We are trying to find out why nobody's hunching anymore. Oh, God. You know what? Damn it. I forgot I had this one in here. Guys, listen, I got to trigger warn you. This is a tragedy. This is a horrible, horrible story I'm about to share with you guys. Just be warned, you haven't heard a tragedy like this one maybe ever. Maybe ever. You heard it here first, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, this is why you come to this channel.
Give me the money. Give me the money for all that I would do. Give me the money.
So my coochie fell out. So I was new to gym life, and I'm like, you know what? Lift heavy. Everything I read said you got to really lift heavy if you want. I'm trying to build an ass. You need to go on and lift heavy so you can go and get you an ass. And go to the gym. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do squats. Everybody say squats gonna build a huge ass, and that's what I want. I want some. Ooh, I want to be dragging a damn wagon. So I start squatting, and I'm like, this too easy. This ain't enough weight. This just ain't gonna get it for me. So I upped the weight, of course. I'm like, ooh, I feel pressure now. This is gonna work. I feel the ass building. Well, about the 8th squat, I squat down. I go low because you really got to go low if you're trying to really get a big old thing. I go low. I'm down there. I feel pressure. Pressure coming from my girl. I said, what? I was like, okay. So I stopped that. I'm like, let me go to the bathroom. Something wrong. I go to the bathroom, look down. There's stuff like dangling down. I'm like, did I get a wee-wee? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm panicking. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I do with this? So I just get up. I'm like, okay, let me go home. I really got to go home, take a picture, send to my mom. My mom like, that's your damn coochie. I'm like, I cannot believe it. My coochie done fell out. She ain't even got that many damn miles. So to be falling out is crazy. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I call
SKC. That's what's going on here. Gen Z isn't dating because these women's coochies are falling out. How in the hell are young men or any man supposed to find love in this country when women's coochies are just hitting the concrete? You didn't tell me in health class that sometimes it just falls out. I had no idea that they just detach. She got a detachable cooch. It just detaches. I had no idea this was possible. How's a nigga supposed to find love when the coochies are just detaching randomly? And then you want to blame the men. You want to blame men and the coochies are just falling out, dragging on the concrete, leaving a trail like a snail. Coochie leaving a snail trail around the apartment. But you want niggas to find love. It's 2026 and coochies are leaving snail trails on my apartment rug. And then you wonder why niggas ain't finding love.
Damn, there's stuff like dangling down. I'm like, did I get a wee-wee? Like, what is going on? Like, I'm panicking. I'm like, what do I do? Like, what do I do with this? So I just get up. I'm like, okay, let me go home. I really got to go home, take a picture, send to my mom. My mom like, that's your damn coochie. I'm like, I cannot believe it. My coochie done fell out. She ain't even got that many damn miles. So to be falling out is crazy. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I call urgent care because I need to know what the wait time is gonna be. Because what I'm not gonna do is wait all day. So I call them like, hey, what's the wait? And she's like, what's the problem? I'm like, my coochie didn't fill out. Like, it's out. So what do I need to do? So she told me to come on up there.
Freeman's Journal asks, how do you go to the hospital and say, my coochie fell out? Believe it or not, Freeman, the hospital emergency room is the one place where you'll be accepted. Emergency room nurses and doctors have seen all manner of sexual debauchery. Things that I'm not allowed to talk about on YouTube. ER nurses and doctors are fully versed in how to fix these problems. I'm telling you, man, the ER is like church for porn brain people. That's where, that is literally where you go to get your soul cleansed, in the emergency room. That's where porn brain people go to pray, in the emergency room. I swear to God, that is church for porned out people. Nobody knows the pure savagery of the human animal like people in the emergency room. You thought it was just gunshot wounds and gangbangers. No. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. After about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, the freaks start to come out. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially if you're like in a major city, but even in the rural areas too. Niggas be nasty in the mountains too. I'm just saying. If you got that kind of problem, just put it this way. The doctor is the one person you should probably tell everything to. I'm trying to tell you, the doctor is the one person who's probably seen everything. Because people are really disgusting. People are just amazing creatures. I'm trying to tell you. Let's get up to the New York Post here. Gen Z men think women should obey them. Shout out to Gen Z men. Off to a good start early in life. Damn, y'all niggas starting to tell y'all emergency room stories. Y'all know. You guys know the emergency room is a house of horrors, bro. Gunshots are like the easy part of being in the emergency room. Forgive me. I'm trying to munch on my breakfast a little bit. All right, let's get this article out the way. Gen Z men think women should obey them, study says. I wonder what study this is. It's like Pew Research or something like that. They're youngsters with old outlooks. Total submissiveness and romantic relationships is a must for a staggering number of young men who view their wives and girlfriends as sexual subordinates, per startling new data. 31% of Gen Z men agree that a wife should always obey her husband, and 33% say a husband should have the final word on important decisions, according to a global survey of 23,000 people. Researchers for Ipsos, a market research company in the UK, and the Global Institute for Women's Leadership at King's Business School in London polled guys and gals of all ages from 29 countries, including the US, Great Britain, Brazil, and India. Just ahead of International Women's Day on Sunday, March 8th, investigators sought to identify stark differences between different generations of men, from baby boomers to Gen Xers to millennials to Zoomers, when it comes to gender roles. Adults over 30 largely disagreed with antiquated misogynistic notions that women are of lesser stature than men based on the findings. But Gen Z clods, whippersnappers ranging in ages from 18 to 29. Wow. Gen Zers from 18 to 29 widely maintain more traditional values, placing fellas on a pedestal and women in the kitchen. The survey results, while troubling, aren't exactly surprising, given the recent rise in the popularity of red pill men. They're a subculture of meatheads perpetuating a societal hatred against women by opposing feminist narratives. Ooh. The likes of Andrew Tate, a controversial content creator, as well as Scott Galloway, author of the 2026 tome, Notes on Being a Man, have been openly vilified for force-feeding toxic masculinity to the impressionable blokes of Gen Z. Let's stop a minute here. There is nothing There is nothing toxic nor masculine about Scott Galloway. I mean, I suppose he's a man in the most objective sense, but in terms of symbolic masculinity or even toxic masculinity, no, not Scott. Anybody but Scott. Now that I think about it, I would rather have Scott Baio over Scott Galloway. Bring back the old Scotts from the 80s. What happened to Scott Baio? Anyway, let me keep reading. And these young fellows are evidently eating it up. When it comes to sparking the flames of sex, 21% of Zers worldwide argue that a real woman should never initiate a roll in the hay. Only 12% of Gen Z women agreed with the viewpoint, backed by just 7% of boomer men and women. Gen Z men also outpace other demographics with the running idea that women should not appear too independent or self-sufficient. Disturbingly, however, 41% of the fledglings believe that women with successful careers are more attractive to men. That's an irony right there. That doesn't really track with the rest of the data, but we'll come back to that. It's an alarming duality that Kelly Beaver, chief executive of Ipsos, says opens a vital dialogue on how gender norms are being reshaped, highlighting the complex interplay between modernity and tradition, and urging us to delve deeper into the cultural, social, and economic factors that influence these beliefs. And those problematic beliefs don't stop at female obedience and sexual subservience. Gen Z men also hold themselves to severely rigid standards. While 30% insist that men should never say "I love you" to a friend, 43% feel that young men should try to be physically tough, even if they're not naturally big. Both positions prioritize hypermasculinity over vulnerability and sensitivity. Yeah, because that's what men need to be, vulnerable and sensitive. Trying to turn men into prey. Anyway, let me keep reading. And in the case of a household chores and child rearing responsibilities, 21% of Zoomer guys maintain that men who take part in caregiving for children are less masculine than those who do not. A paltry 14% of Gen Z women and 8% of boomer men agreed. Globally, an astounding number of folks from all age groups admitted to believing in gender equality, especially in the home, but felt compelled to abide by more stereotypical mores of their cultures and countries. But Hee-Jun Chung, director of the Global Institute for Women's Leadership at King's Business School, hopes to see an immediate turn in the tides. It is deeply concerning to see traditional gender norms persisting today, and more troubling still that many people appear to be pressured by societal expectations that do not actually reflect what most of us believe, said the professor. Our data reveals a striking gap between people's personal views, which are far more progressive, and what they imagine society demands of them. The gap is particularly pronounced among Gen Z men, who not only appear to feel intense pressure to conform to rigid masculine ideals, but in some cases seem to also expect women to retreat to a more traditional way of being. Chung hails the study as an inaugural step toward change. Our report aims to cut through these misperceptions and show people what we as a society truly believe, that gender norms are genuinely shifting, and more people want a more equal, flexible approach to gender roles. That is the end of the article. Now, really right here at the end, gender norms are not genuinely shifting. They're being artificially pushed from one realm to another. Gender norms are being redefined effectively against the will of the public. Normal, everyday people don't reimagine gender norms. People with college degrees who don't have to work for a living for real, they imagine gender norms. People who write words for a living reimagine gender norms. Regular people don't really, it doesn't work well with the regular people.
What are some red flags that you do not want in your partner?
Someone who has no prospects or goals at all for their life.
Yeah, I just say if someone's like really negative, I don't know, that kind of bumps me out. I like a good vibe.
I am avoiding any frat man. Absolutely.
When he only wants to hang out at a specific time, that's a bit of a red flag.
I say avoid a guy that's too nice to too many gals and doesn't know boundaries. If they don't have any like goals in life, for me, that's also a red flag.
I see a lot of narcissistic men that just don't take the time. I hate when a man doesn't ask you questions back.
People who seem a little bit like they take themselves too seriously. I feel like there's a balance, right? Like we got to dance through life. We got to have fun. Like you got to go with the flow.
So one thing I realized is I'm big on communication. So the first red flag that I usually try to see is like, I'm not going to be like, hell, you're going to text me every hour, but at least let me know what's going on throughout the course of the day. And if you don't, I know you don't really care because we're human beings. If you look around the park, everybody and their mother's on their phone 24/7. So that's one of the major red flags I look for as far as communication.
If I go on a date to like a restaurant or any type of like place where they have service, if they're rude to the service staff, that's like the biggest red flag anyone can have.
If they don't let you hang out with your friends, that's a big issue. I have previous experience with that. Ex-girlfriend, if you're watching this, I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna pay the check if you're not gonna sleep with me. That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? Like, I mean, okay, like.
Okay, well, you don't have to be weird about it.
It's just like I'm not really sure.
You
Like I
wasted
don't
my
think.
time already, and the whole thing's kind of a waste.
Wow. I mean, nobody really disrespected me like that before. Like I don't know what the heck.
You have to be dramatic.
That is not dramatic. Like, do you literally hear what the fuck you're saying? You literally just told me that you're not gonna pay the check if I don't sleep with you. So you were coming, like that was your whole intention. Like, I feel like I was from the day we met till today. I never gave off. Oh, I'm like the hookup girl.
I just think you're like a drama girl.
Says the man who literally just said, "I'm not gonna pay the check if you're not gonna sleep with me." Like, how broke are
Obviously,
you?
you're down. You're just embarrassed
I'm
because you
not
don't want
down.
to tell your friends.
No, you're an embarrassing man who's probably broke. Let me see it. You know, honestly, like I don't want to be a part of this. I'm just gonna like, how much is it? We're literally having this whole fight over $130. Wow. Cheap ass man.
Well, I'm not gonna pay the check if you're not gonna sleep with me. That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? Like,
No one wants to fuck anymore. Seriously. No one wants to make out. No one wants to flirt. Everyone's tired, anxious, and touch starved. So I wrote this Substack.
This is another concept I keep hearing about. And only women talk like this. Women are touch starved. Not only are the boxes falling out, but niggas refuse to touch them. Ladies, what's going on? Your box is falling out. Niggas don't want to touch it. We don't really focus on women's side of the issue. We always just assume men are struggling and problematic, but every time I open up my laptop, I see another chick with a fallen out box and nobody wants to touch it.
Essay about how we're in a sexual recession and what's causing that. And see, women are some of the most educated, employed, and financially stable generation of women yet. So we don't need men for survival. If we're in partnership, it's because we want to be in partnership. And that is definitely impacting the way that dating, relationships, hookup culture, situationship culture is happening in Gen Z right now. Men have been told by their fathers, grandfathers, society.
You know, I think there's something that needs to be brought back to the forefront of these conversations. Women, and God bless their hearts, women genuinely think dating and relationships are about romantic love, like romance style Fabio on the cover, endless love. And so because their quote survival has been solved by things like money and government, they believe, like children, that relationships are just about endless love, which brings us back to dick and emotions. Thank you, Red Illusion, for reminding me. Women think a relationship is just dick and emotions. No, actually, the purpose of the relationship is survival, mutual beneficial survival. Like, technically, we could both live relatively indefinitely apart, but the idea is that we could not only survive but thrive together. But you know, you can't explain that to a chick who's high on dick and emotions.
Yet, so we don't need men for survival. If we're in partnership, it's because we want to be in partnership. And that is definitely impacting the way that dating, relationships, hookup culture, situationship culture is happening in Gen Z right now. Men have been told by their fathers, grandfathers, society that they are focused on providing for their women and their families. And I think now that Gen Z women can support themselves financially, we don't need men to provide for us. We definitely want them to, for sure, but we don't need them. We're focused more on equal partnerships and men that can show up emotionally available and be attuned to us. And unfortunately, I don't think the men are catching up, and this is causing a lot of strife. I think women collectively are realizing that there's not really a point to giving your body to someone that acts like they don't care if you live or die. And on top of that, they're not providing financially. And a part of that is not entirely their fault, because the economy that we're in is very difficult. And I think everyone is feeling the effects of that. But it's like, okay, the men are not planning dates. They're not paying for dates. They're not providing anything financially, and then on top of that, you're not emotionally available. Anytime I express myself, it's too much emotional labor, or I'm emotionally high maintenance, and it's like, what is the benefit of me giving myself to you if I get
Shiesty Bum, evolve into what? Shiesty Bum says evolve or die out, men. I mean, if men die out, women die out too, but I'm not going to explain reality to a chick. Evolve into what? What is it that men are supposed to evolve into? Women with dicks? You want men to turn into women with dicks?
absolutely nothing in return. I think all of this is also contributing to the whole male loneliness epidemic, where men are starting to be decentered. I think women are focused a lot more on themselves, working on their relationships, building their careers, working on their finances. And because of that, men are not needed as much. Now I think women are focused on wanting men and being very intentional about choosing the men in our lives rather than being with men out of survival for financial needs. And on top of that, it's like, again, if you're not contributing to me financially and supporting me, making me the best version of myself, and also you're not contributing emotionally by being in tune with me and listening to me and actually caring about my feelings, it kind of feels like there's no point. It's not entirely the men's fault. It's also the patriarchy and capitalism.
See, look, Shiesty Bum, and this is typical of the modern woman. You can't even properly define the thing you say you desperately want, which is why most men who are dealing with these women, they act like they can't be bothered. Why would I invest my actual energy and my mental capacity into you when you desperately want a thing that you can't actually define? You can't describe it. You just know it's real. I'm not going to invest all my life into your emotional highs. Goddamn junkie.
And all of these systems that have been built to break us down and to divide us. And one of my mutuals, Justin, made a really good point where sex and intimacy is becoming a luxury. If you can't afford to date, if you can't afford to go to therapy, if you were not raised in an environment where you were taught to work on yourselves and to reflect and be empathetic, you are going to be at a disadvantage, and you're not going to have the same access to relationships that maybe previous generations have. And I think another big thing as well with our generation is everybody is afraid of vulnerability. Everybody's afraid of intimacy, and that's also contributing to the divide as well. And I'm honestly seeing that in my personal life as well with my friends who are all educated, well-spoken, good head on their shoulders, good people that are beautiful and kind and giving. And even they are in a similar predicament where a lot of people are not in relationships because they don't want to acquiesce to their side. And a lot of people are horny and pent up and have no sort of release because, again, why give yourself to someone that can't contribute to you in some way? But also people don't want to do the work to be the type of person that can be in a relationship. So where do we go from here?
there's a lot that we can't control in this world, but there are things that we can control, and that's how we treat each other. And I think one solution to this would be, I would love if the men would take a step forward and try to become more emotionally available, try to be vulnerable and be comfortable with intimacy, even if it doesn't necessarily start with the women that you're.
Women, please stop laying out these traps. Come, tell me your feelings. Be emotionally intimate. And then as soon as you get up, she's gonna be like, this nigga gay. As soon as you start telling her your feelings, she gonna turn her back on you. That's how it always works that way. Never cry in front of a chick. As soon as you cry in front of a chick, you know what she gonna do?
Yeah, what are they coming to church doing? Being gay.
It's a trap. Don't do it.
Pursuing, even if that's in your friendships, I think that is an amazing, great first step. Going to therapy, talking about your feelings, getting comfortable, being emotional, because if this continues, the problem is just going to grow more and more, because I don't think that a generation of people who are all
look at Shiesty Bum in the chat, by the way. I don't recall Shiesty Bum ever having soft words of encouragement. I don't recall Shiesty Bum ever typing anything male supporting in the chat. Yet she expects men to be emotionally available to her, right? That's what a trap is.
Up and repressed and horny is good for society. So all I want is for people to have great love stories, great relationships, and really great sex. No one wants to fuck anyone.
I'm sorry, but Gen Z men are gonna die alone. I was texting this guy and I was telling him like music is one of the most important things to me. And
if the men are gonna die alone, who are the women gonna die with? I don't think the chicks have thought this one. I don't think they've thought that one out fully because, you know, girl brain. But if men die alone, who do women die with?
so he asked me what my favorite song was, and I sent it to him, and he was like, oh, I didn't like it. I could barely get through the first minute.
Girl, what happened to your eyebrows? I know this bitch is not up here with receding eyebrows complaining about men. Ain't no way I'm gonna let some chick with receding eyebrows talk shit about men. I can't believe it. God, what are you doing to these people?
I had to turn it off.
I think we figured out what your problem in life is. You got receding eyebrows. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. What is this?
Off. Thanks, you're blocked now. The fuck? Like, y'all do not know how to speak to women. Why would you say that? And I know y'all's dads or y'all granddads were some dogs, but they knew how to speak to women. They knew how to talk to them. They were liars and cheaters, but clearly they knew what the fuck they were doing because they had like 5 different families. Y'all need to do some consulting because y'all not getting bitches this way. I'm sorry, but Gen Z men are gonna die alone.
Just in case you've been wondering why you don't see a lot of young women going on dates or dating around, so to speak, I'm going to give you a play-by-play of a really common conversation that I've seen on my own phone and also on my friends' phones on apps like Hinge and stuff. So it starts out and the guy will text you and he'll be like, you know, hey, I think you're really pretty. Sometimes I don't even say that. Sometimes I just say hi, you know, and it's like, and then, you know, you'll say hi back or some sort of greeting. And if they complimented you, you'll be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, you know, whatever. And then the guy will be like, okay, so, you know, when are you free? And then you say, oh, I'm free Friday. And he says, cool, me too. And you're like, cool. And then he'll say, okay, so what do you want to do? What did you have in mind? What are you thinking? Who are you talking to? Because it's not me. I'm not planning this fucking date, bro. Like, you are planning it. Right? This is a dating app for dates. You have to plan the date. Like, I'm not planning the date. Like, I did not text you first and say like, hey, I think you're really cool. Let's go to this place. Like, you texted me, asked what day I was free. And now for some reason you're stuck at the second step and you think that I'm going to find an event and find a restaurant to go to and find whatever and send it to you. Like, okay, princess, like, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. And it's like, if I can't, if this guy can't even figure out how to make a dinner reservation or find an event on fucking Eventbrite or something, or a little, you know, indie band to see. I don't know. Like, I live in New York, so it's like there's so many events and all the time. So these guys have no excuse. Then why would I want to hang out with them? Why would I want to hang out with someone who needs their hand held like that? No thanks. Just in case you've been wondering.
Sometimes I feel like dating a man.
What happened to yearning?
Sometimes I feel like dating a man means having to settle in some sort of way. Like one thing.
How old were you when you realized that no man is perfect? It seems like she's just hit that realization yesterday.
Sometimes I feel like dating a man means having to settle in some sort of way. Like one thing my friends and I always talk about is like being a part of Gen Z and feeling like dating guys our age, you have to settle in some way. Like they're either a little homophobic or a little bit misogynistic or not emotionally intelligent. Like
Only a little? Jeez. Guys, we can do better than that. Never let a woman describe you as just a little homophobic. It sounds like you don't even mean it. I don't ever want to be described as a little racist and a little homophobic, all right? You got to be definitive about this shit, nigga.
there's something that you have to settle with, and you just have to choose, I guess, like what is the lesser of the evils. And it's really frustrating trying to navigate the dating landscape and constantly feeling like every time you find a new guy or a good guy, it's like, but there's the misogyny, there's the homophobia, like there's the racism. Like, obviously, I'm not saying to settle for a racist or misogynistic or homophobic guy.
Give them no other options but misogyny, racism, and homophobia. It's one of the misogynist, racist, homophobic dudes or the gays. Those are your choices now. Those are your choices, and we're going to keep applying pressure and to all the men who ride the fence, all the men who are stuck in the middle, all the men who don't know they're really men.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
See, even guys like FD Signifier, we're going to have to force them to sit at the gay table. When you walk over to the men's table, you should only find racism, sexism, and homophobia. Not in that order, but in varying mixtures, okay? It's a grab bag. It's a goddamn potpourri of the best men over here.
Anyway, I'm saying that you will find a guy that you like. It's like, oh yeah, this is a good guy. And then randomly it'll come out. And it feels like that with everyone, which is why I stay single, because it's just too much. Sometimes I feel like dating a man means
What happened to yearning? What happened to men that pursue?
OnlyFans. That's what happened to yearning. A $4.99 monthly subscription killed yearning, and it's not going to come back anytime soon. What happened to yearning? Remember when men used to be yearning? We're not yearning anymore.
What happened to yearning? What happened to men that pursue? What happened to men being confident enough to make the first move? I feel like our generation is just so whacked out. Like we're just all messed up. And I think with the phones, we're just so antisocial and just everything is just out of sorts, and it's not how it used to be. And I think it's a real shame that like the art of dating and like yearning and pursuing is just dead. Like I watch shows like Bridgerton, I'm like, oh my God, we will never have that again.
We need to ban shows like Bridgerton. I heard in China, they are like totally revamping their approach to like television content. Like they're changing up the like soap opera dramas and shit like that. So young women and girls who might be watching this don't get this fantasy in their head that they can endlessly pursue this millionaire guy and then somehow it's all going to work out in the end. Like, no, you're going to be 40. He's not leaving his wife, and you're going to get pregnant by some guy that you hate. That's your fate.
It's just going to get worse. And it's actually so sad. especially dating apps have just ruined it all. What happened to yearning? What happened to men that pursue? What happened to men?
What the does that mean? I don't get why I'm still single.
I'm pretty sure by the end of your video, I'll have a pretty solid theory about why you're single.
I have come to. What the does that mean? I don't get why I'm still single. I don't get it. I'm a catch. What is going on in my life where I don't have a man? Or are my standards too high? Do I box myself in a corner all the time? Like nowadays, men today.
And that's part of it right there. This level of makeup application always gives high maintenance and undateable. I don't think I've ever seen a woman applying multiple layers of makeup who was also likable. Look at this, Shiesty. I like her. It is exactly my point. I have never, ever seen a woman applying multiple layers of makeup who was also a good person. They literally hide behind layers of makeup. Why do you think they call it war paint? Who do you think they're at war with?
Want to be chased. What happened to masculinity? What happened to chivalry? What happened to men courting women?
A $4.99 monthly subscription.
What happened to that? Back in the day, dating was so much easier and it was fun. Today's dating is hell. You give a guy your number and all of a sudden you don't hear from them until like 3 to 4 days later. What was the point of me giving you my number? If you're not going to text me, I don't get it. The talking doesn't go as far as the actual app.
Hey guys, do me a favor. Like the video for me and let me know. Do you guys want to come up on the panel and review some Gen Z dating content? I do have a little bit of time today. It's a lonely, rainy, ugly Friday. Would you like to come up and review some Gen Z dating content? Please throw $1 in the hat and we can review this Gen Z dating content. And maybe by the end of her video, you can give your theory as to why this cake-faced broad is so lonely.
There are no, oh, let me take you out to dinner. Let's go catch a movie. Let's go to a cafe and get to know each other. What's with all the endless text messages? What happened to men actually planning dates? What happened to it? I don't get it. How do you date in today's society? What are some of your red flags and your non-negotiables? I do not.
You know what? When men used to make all the money, it was generally assumed that a good chunk of that man's money would be used to acquire and then maintain a relationship with a woman, you know, meaning eventually they would get married and have children and all that. Women don't think their money is for that kind of stuff. So now women make the same amount as money as men, but men have to take the majority of their money and spend it on women who make that much money in the hopes that that woman will choose him out of all the other men spending their money on that woman who doesn't really need the money of any of these niggas.
I chase men. I don't do it. I did it once, would never do it again. No, never again will I chase a guy. My biggest ick is a guy that can't hold the conversation. Now, I gotta talk the whole goddamn date. I hate it. I don't got time to be dating no guy that don't have no money. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound shallow, but I've dated broke men my whole life.
I bet you have.
Dated broke men my.
I bet you had, and you enjoyed it. You enjoyed it all until it ended, because that's how that goes.
I'm shallow, but I've dated broke men my whole life. I have. Now I'm in a place where I have money and I want to travel and I want to see the world. I don't want you to buy me nothing because I can buy it myself. That's not what I want. I want you to have the financial stability.
Well, why don't you take him on the place on the, listen, if there was a man, if that was your man, he would be taking you to places. He would be traveling with you. Be like, come on, babe, let's go, right? Now that you got the money, you like, I need a nigga with more money.
To pick up and go on a trip. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for no Louis. I'm not asking for no goddamn bust down Chanel. I don't even goddamn like designer. I don't. I really don't. Oh, you're just very intimidating. What the does that mean? How?
Yeah, you are very intimidating. It means I would rather not deal with all of you. You are a lot, and I don't have room for you in my life.
Do I come off intimidating when I'm the most socializing person ever? What the does that mean? How do I come off intimidating when I'm the mean? How do I come off intimidating when does that mean? How do I come off intimidating when I'm the most How do I come off intimidating when I'm the most socializing person ever? Specifically, my ladies, I want to hear how you are dating, especially in today's generation. What are some dating apps you're on? Where do you go to date? What are just some of your non-negotiables when it comes to dating these men? Because I ain't got time. Anyway.
I have come to a genius conclusion, and it is why Gen Z has an awful time with dating nowadays. Are you Gen Z? Do you have a failed situationship, relationship, talking phase, anything? I'm sure the answer is yes. I've had too many to count. But after my last failed relationship, I was really thinking deeply about this topic. I wholeheartedly believe that it is because Gen Z is broke. Hear me out. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but we're the generation, right? We dealt with COVID. It ruined our work ethic. I personally was a junior in high school when COVID started, and it ruined my work ethic so much, and it took me so much to get that back. Like, you're sitting at home, doing school from home. You can look everything up online. Classes become so much easier. You don't have to put an effort to go to school. You don't have to wake up early, dress up, all of it. It becomes a cakewalk. And then our generation gets into college. ChatGPT comes out. Classes are easy. You can take online classes if you want. And it has genuinely just become such a work from home, lazy environment. It's upsetting too, because our parents weren't like this. I know you're going to come for me and say that I sound crazy, because I probably do. And I know I sound like my parents, but it's true. Our parents worked multiple jobs. They went to school, got ready, had to study in the library, not use the internet. Oh my gosh, why do I sound so old? And then we're sitting here complaining about the fact that we have one 8 a.m. class throughout our whole day. We don't have a job, and that's all we have to do. Anyways, moral of this story is that the way Gen Z has been raised is lazy. We are a lazy generation, and we need to fix this. But what does being a lazy generation entail? It means that we are not going to make good money. I figured out how to get around this, so I'm not a part of the we anymore. Everyone is too lazy to work an actual job where you have to get up and get there at 8 a.m. and stay until 5 or 6 and put effort into your appearance and put effort into your job. People expect to get work from home jobs now. Work from home jobs do not pay as well, and they're just not sustainable for a long term. So in turn, we're all graduating from college. No one is accepting jobs, meaning we aren't getting jobs, meaning we're working retail jobs or side jobs that aren't paying anything. And Gen Z, we're all in our 20s. So, moral of the story, we're all broke in that aspect. Dating fails if you are broke, girls and guys.
Dating fails when men are broke. Nobody gives a shit if women have money or not. Men don't give a shit if women actually have money. Dating works when men make more money. I actually saw, there was a study that came out recently. I don't know, maybe I can dig this up, but when men make more money, women actually have more babies. When women make more money, they just literally are compelled. They're not compelled to have as many babies. There's something about a man having money that makes a woman get all fertile. I don't know why it works that way, but when the men as a group, when the men have more money than the women get fertile. They literally have more babies. When women have more money, they tend to have less babies.
So here's my dilemma. I love being single. I love that shit. I love just being alone, but I'm alone. I'm so alone. So here's my dilemma. I love being single. I love that shit. I love just being alone.
Multiple septum rings.
One thing that is unique about dating in your 20s that aren't all the obvious. So if you hypothetically are a girl who tends to date older, there's this weird cutoff because you can't go too far because then they're a millennial. So then you start getting like all the emojis and like the smiley faces, like the colon parentheses smiley face. Just like corny, like it's too corny, like you can't do it. But then too close in age, they're like still playing the field, just kind of immature, but not necessarily immature. They're just like figuring their things out. I try and give guys around my age just like some slack. I'm like, you're just starting your career. You probably have to iron that out, right? I'm going to skip over you and like go past that. But so that leaves me with like a very, very narrow window. Because I'm like, okay, early career guys who are like the equivalent of a city bike, like they're, so I'm like, And then 30 feels, that doesn't feel that drastic to me. I'm 24. But if they're a millennial, I'm in this weird phase where I'm like, okay, I should wait to date till maybe the guys in the window below get older. So I'm just in pause. Like I'm literally just frozen in terms of dating and talking to guys. Like it's not. Like I'm like, it's not worth it. It's really not. One thing that is unique about dating in your 20s.
Okay, guys, advice needed. So I'm going through a midlife crisis and I'm only 27, but I am a single 27-year-old woman. And honestly, I feel like I've had my party stage in my early 20s, like just being in the bars, in the clubs, like I did it all. In 2022, I even worked in a bar. And it's just like, honestly, I'm really over the bar scene and like the being outside scene. But as a 27-year-old single woman, how else am I supposed to meet men? And I feel like this is where the identity crisis or midlife crisis is coming into play, because technically I have not met a good man in the club or bar setting. If I would have met a good man, I wouldn't be a 27-year-old single woman, right? If it were up to me, I would just do stuff during the day, like go.
Is it possible the fact that you haven't met a good man while you were at the bar means you weren't a good woman either?
Eat, like do whatever activities I can do during the day and probably be home by like the latest 11 p.m. I really don't like to be out.
You want to come home at 11 o'clock at night? And you want a good man?
Outside anymore. But like I said, like, how do you meet people if you don't go outside to bars and clubs? And for a better explanation, I really don't like to talk to people via social media. Like, I don't like DMing. Like, I do not respond to my DMs. I feel like that's just not organic. I really like to meet people organically, like in person. I am not on dating sites because it's not that serious to me. Like, I'm not desperately looking for a relationship or dates right now, honestly. But I'm realizing that because I'm not desperate for it and I haven't really been going out, it's just like, okay, so how are you ever going to eventually get this man if you don't leave your house? Like, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm asking this question to older women that, you know, have met men and they don't go outside. Where did y'all meet these men at? Like, where were they at? Like, were y'all just walking in the grocery store? Where did you find this man?
Okay, guys. As a woman living in this generation, here's some reasons why you should probably stay in that relationship, even if your man is cheating on you or if you're going through struggle love.
Whoa, that was unexpected. She like, look, it's rough out here. You better keep that nigga. If he halfway decent, forgive him. Okay, she going the other way with this. Clever. Smoke detector went off. One more beep. Come on, one more beep.
As a woman
Didn't get it.
I feel like a lot more women would be okay with being casual, or at least wouldn't end up so traumatized from the casual relationship.
Are you laying sideways on your floor? God. She's laying sideways on the floor. She is in danger. She is struggling. She's having a moment. She's having a crisis right now.
That we choose to partake in. If men's idea of being casual wasn't, I'm going to treat you the worst I have ever treated anyone in my life, and you're not allowed to get upset about it because you're not my girlfriend.
What do you think casual is? You call me and pour all your girlfriend bullshit in my lap? Women really think a casual sexual partner is somebody who is also a boyfriend. No, no. We hunch, I leave. You give your problems to the other nigga. You give your problems to the nigga that really likes you. How about you do that? You call me when you trying to get your shit off.
Like, that is literally what a man's idea of being in a casual relationship is. And that is why there's so many issues with it, because it's like, even if I am not your girlfriend, I'm still a human being, and I'm still a human being.
Hoes ain't human. Sorry, that's not how men work. Sisters, wives, and mothers, even girlfriends are human, but hoes ain't human. That's just not how we register things.
Relationship is, and that is why there's so many issues with it, because it's like, even if I am not your girlfriend, I am still a human being, and I'm still a human being that you're choosing to be intimate with. So there is a higher level of responsibility to me than if we weren't doing that together. Like, that's inherent, and they know that that's inherent because they actually will treat you worse than if you were just their regular friend. Like, they start treating you, if you're friends beforehand, they start treating you worse than if you were just friends with them. It's actually crazy. And then they want to be like, oh, you're expecting so much of me. And it's like, no, I'm just expecting you to treat me like a normal
girlfriend. You see, you're trying to create this like comfortable gray area where you don't feel like a used hoe, but you got used and hoed. I don't know what else to do for you. After you've been used and hoed, there's no gray area for you after that.
Person. Like, you're not even meeting that bar right now, you know? And it's actually, it's like the issue is not being casual. Like, nobody's saying that we need to get married. Like, I don't want to be your girlfriend, actually. Like, it's not.
You know, this is a problem I have just with female communication. Women a lot of times you listen to women talk and they can never properly describe the shit they want. They know all the things they don't want, but they can't properly definitively describe what exactly they do want. And then they use all these like squishy terms and fuzzy language to kind of massage the point.
It's not even like that, but I do want like a basic level of respect and care and understanding, especially if I am sleeping with you. Like, it's like, you know, like,
that is a skill issue. Maybe you should only be sleeping with guys who kind of like you.
It's really crazy to me, you know, but then again,
I can't imagine this though. This as the man, I'm okay having sex with a woman that hates me because there's a power dynamic in that I can just live with. As a woman, how do you have sex with men that hate you? I just can't. I just don't It just feels like you're womaning backwards is all. It really feels like you're womaning backward. Like as a dude having sex with chicks that hate you, it's just, you know, it's happened way more than you like to believe. But as a woman, how do you have sex with men that hate you? I feel like you're doing this all wrong.
These guys don't even treat their actual girlfriends that good. Like, it's like your actual girlfriend is probably not getting much better than this either. So what can we expect? I feel like a lot more women would be okay with being casual, or at least
women tend to date men who are as well educated or more, and men tend to date women who are as well educated or less.
Did Scott Galloway make a gay baby? What the hell is this nigga? What the hell is this?
Yeah, what are they coming to church doing? Being gay!
Okay, but can we talk about dating in 2025 as a Gen Zer? Because why is everybody just trying to meet people on dating apps? Or if you meet them on Instagram, they're just fucked up. Everybody just wants to fuck. I don't know what it is, but everybody just wants to fuck. There's genuinely no deep connection happening. There's genuinely no bonds being formed. There's genuinely no marriage in sight. Like, what's going on? I don't know about y'all, but I don't care that it's fucking cuffing season. I don't care that it's fucking winter, okay? The men out here are fucking trash. Nobody's trying to settle down. And it's upsetting me, my homegirls, because it's like, if you can't go to Bella Noche, where the fuck can you go? Okay, but can we talk about dating in 2025 as a Gen Zer? Because why is everybody just trying?
Okay, so how old are y'all?
I'm 22.
22.
I'm 19.
You're 19. So in the Gen Z culture, what is the relevant way of like the dating? Is it through apps? Is it through just meeting someone in person?
Like don't date. Yeah, that's just it.
Really?
Have a fuck buddy. Boom.
What?
Well, in some cases, yes, it's better to just live life and better yourself every day, and just don't date and don't accept no man. Hey, there's only two things in life that'll find you, and you never have to find it. That's death and love.
But you said don't date, but you already got a man, right?
Yeah, but he came to me. I didn't go looking.
Is it like a just a friendly benefit, or
No,
it's serious? Huh?
Yeah, serious.
But let me some people y'all's generation, none of them are really into dating, huh?
No, they're just into fucking. Yep.
What?
Into fucking, but like you can't be fucking on nobody else, but they can.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Ooh,
Well,
that's
why?
not respect each. No, nobody.
Damn. What's going on here? Shout out to my man Jamar with the 20 ball for the good content. These hoes want exclusive casual sexual encounters. Make it make sense, man.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. I got Mercedes-Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. Oh, yeah, we don't care. You talking?
Bro, in 2026, there are more Gen Z men
like the video, y'all.
that have
I'm gonna throw
never
the link
had a
in the chat.
girlfriend versus that have. It seems like every year, I've seen a YouTube video about this. Every year, it's only getting worse for men that are like in their 20s. Like just men in general. It's not, I'm not just saying it's just hard for men. It's hard for women too. But the loneliness in men, the numbers just keep spiking up and up every single year. Now, if you fit inside that bracket, right? I want to tell you something. If you're a dude that feel like you can't find a woman that'll connect with you and, you know, like you for you, it took me almost all of my 20s to like realize I was meeting women in the wrong places, not, you know, doing my hobbies or what I like to do. And no, going to the hookah lounge and smoking and partying and dancing don't count as no damn hobby. Beating people at the club is not a good idea unless you want one night stands. That's where all of my, pretty much my one night stands came from, was meeting people at the club. I don't recommend that shit after a while. That shit gets old. And you might wake up with your shit on fire. But what it took me to realize, right? The girl that I'm dating now, I haven't been in a relationship, right, in 2.5 years. So I was kind of rusty. I've dated, but I haven't been in no actual like real relationship. I almost damn near forgot what it felt like to be in a relationship because it felt like it's been so long. And the last relationship I was in, I got cheated on. She came to me because I was putting myself out there on what I like to do. You know, I like to do music. that's one thing that me and her have in common. She liked to sing and she liked to do all, you know, all of that lovey-dovey stuff, right? When it comes down to music. And that's the biggest thing we have in common. So if you're meeting women and it's not something that, you know, something that like you're doing, like your hobbies and your passions or whatever, it makes it harder to find a woman you connect with, if you get what I'm trying to say. So if you're going out to the clubs or whatever, you know, what do y'all have in common? Y'all just like to go clubbing and drinking and getting fucked up? What about meeting somebody going to the gym, right? You let's say you like to go to the gym. You meet somebody who goes to the gym. They want to be a bodybuilder type shit, whatever. You meet somebody when you're going out to the park and exercising. You know, it could be anything that's adventurous, going out places and all that. Like, you know, and that's I feel like that's where a lot of men fail at, is that they always try to go to clubs. They go to places where there's a lot of pretty women at. Going to clubs and bars and all that. You can't expect a relationship out of that majority of the time. Bro, in 2026.
Millennials ruin dating for Gen Z. How do you feel?
I don't feel that's the case. I feel like social media did that. I feel like there's too much
blaming social media creators, social media app creators.
It's like a yes and a no.
Okay.
I say yeah, the app creators, yeah.
Millennials ruin dating for Gen Z. How do you feel?
I don't feel that's the case. I feel like social.
Now it's divisive. You see how they playing, y'all? Nobody had anything to say about it in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early aughts. It was all.
Shout out to the old man on TikTok. Look at his name. Mumia Obsidian Ali lives. Because we thought he was dead. They killed him off for YouTube, though. Shout out to Obsidian.
Good, but now brothers are asking the question. Remember what I talked about before? Now it's sassy because brothers aren't supposed to ask for what's in it for me. What are the benefits for me? I freaking love it that brothers today are asking that question. I'm a Generation Xer. There are a lot of brothers in the Generation X cohort that have a different orientation, if you will. I love it that, you know, our millennial and Gen Z brothers are stepping forward with the question, with their whole chest. And I'm going to show you a video from a brother that looks to be, you know, at the very least an older millennial, if not a young Gen Xer. I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. I love it that the younger brothers are saying it with their whole chest. Well, what do you bring to the table? I think that's a fair question. But anyway, let's get back to this guy. I just had to stop right there and check that part right there. Now all of a sudden it's divisive. You can't make this stuff up. Let's get back to the tape.
Minimizing a person's ego, but also your valuation, the estimation of your value of yourself should not be simply because of your accomplishments.
Now it's divisive. You see how they playing, y'all? Nobody had anything to say about it in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early aughts. It was all good. But now brothers are asking the question. Remember what I talked about before? Now it's sassy because brothers aren't supposed to ask for what's in it for me. What are the benefits for me? I freaking love it that brothers today are asking that question.
I really dislike my generation. My generation on both sides, men and women, is full of people who think and believe that the other person should just know. And it never made sense to me. I do not understand when the men or the women both say, well, they should just know. Bitch, I don't know you. So yes, in the beginning of the talking stage, in the beginning of me getting to know you, I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to trigger you. I'm going to upset you. I'm going to piss you off. I'm going to do something that may put you in the mindset of where you were maybe in one of your other relationships. Until I start to learn you. I have to learn you. What part do people that's my age do not understand about that? I don't fucking know you. I'm going to get it wrong. So until I do know you, until I start to learn you, until I'm getting better at learning you, I'm going to make mistakes. And that's the part where I say, my generation just fucked up. Fucked up. You don't want to learn nobody. You just come in this bitch thinking, oh, well, she should just know. He should just know. That is the most dumbest shit possible. We both come from two different walks of life. Unless I physically grew up around you and we grew up together, I get it. Then yeah, probably I should just know. We done grew up since jits. But if I done lived in damn near fucking Idaho, Kentucky or some shit my entire life, and you done lived South Carolina or some shit, and we finally meet, bitch, I don't know you. I know nothing about you. So yes, I am going to trigger you until I learn what triggers you and to not do it no more. I may do something that is going to piss you off. I may do something that may upset you. Why? Because I don't know you. You don't know me. I don't know how you grew up. You don't know how I grew up. That is the point of us trying to learn each other. But this whole notion that somebody is just supposed to know off rip, it's weird. I'm never going to know.
We got to start calling this generation cooked, y'all. I didn't know it was really that rough.
Yeah, I went on an amazing first date with a guy, hit it off, had great conversations, great things in common with our family, and then he said he still lives at home at 31. And there's nothing wrong with that for other people, but if you're gonna date me, I'll be busting into dance in the middle of my own hallway in this mirror, just crazy, like in the middle of the day, loud. Because I don't have to worry about anybody else in this here house, because it's my house. And so tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. I just told him, I said, I loved our date, but we're in different life stages right now. And maybe we can pick something up in the future if we're both available. But right now, I want to release you to focus on your goals.
Damn. She got rid of that nigga like it was a job interview. Like, we're looking for a candidate that's just a better fit.
Half of Gen Z men no longer actively even trying to date. They're not even trying. And so the question is, well, why is that happening for women? Women, first off, are dating older. They want more economically and emotionally viable men, and that usually means older men. In addition, when young women are lonely, they have much better social networks. They have much stronger friend networks, whereas guys become kind of lone wolves and kind of literally sequester from everyone and everything.
That is a male phenomenon that actually it doesn't even like pertain to this particular generation. It's something that you see in older men, definitely. So the fact that you see this phenomenon happening with like the younger guys is a bit spooky. But this problem of men just pulling back from culture and society or whatever, just, you know, work, home, gym, work, gym, home, right? That kind of thing that guys get into, it's kind of just what we do. And this is why on a certain level, I tend to reject the male loneliness crisis, the way they portray the concept. I think it's way too overblown of a concept. I don't think men struggle with isolation and sheer loneliness as an emotion the way women struggle with loneliness as an emotion. Men have a lot easier time building hobby and routine for themselves that will take the place of that emotional gap. Well, that will fill the emotional gap, rather. Women, they see that and they desperately wish they could be like us.
I want you to go take a shave and go dance.
Ma, when are you going to give up? You got a bachelor on your hands. I ain't never going to get married.
You're going to get married.
Well, sooner or later, there comes a point in a man's life when he's got to face some facts. And one fact I got to face is that whatever it is that women like, I ain't got it. I chased after enough girls in my life. I went to enough dances. I got hurt enough. I don't want to get hurt no more. I just called up a girl this afternoon. I got a real brush off, boy. I figured I was past the point of being hurt, but that hurt. No, Ma, I didn't want to go to Stardust Ballroom because all that ever happened to me there was girls made me feel like I was a bug. I got feelings, you know. I had enough pain. No thanks, Ma.
Marty.
No.
Shout out to 1950s incel core. It's always been like this, though. In a lot of ways, nothing new is really happening now. maybe it's happening more, it's happening earlier, but this has just been a phenomenon of the human condition.
I'm gonna stay home tonight and watch the hit parade.
You're gonna die without a son.
So I'll die without a son.
Oh, Marty, put on the blue suit, huh?
Blue suit, gray suit. I'm just a fat little man, a fat, ugly man.
You're not ugly.
I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly.
Marty.
Ma, leave me alone.
I've never struggled with being fat, but I've always been an ugly man. Life is hard for the ugly men out there. You guys just don't know what it's like to be an ugly nigga. I tell you, you don't know the struggles I've seen. Nobody knows the ugly I've been.
Not ugly.
I'm ugly, I'm ugly, I'm ugly.
Marty.
Ma, leave me alone. Ma, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? I'm miserable enough as it is. All right, so I'll go to the Stardust Ballroom. I'll put on a blue suit and I'll go. And you know what I'm going to get for my trouble? Heartache. A big night of heartache.
Damn. I kind of want to watch that movie. Part of me wants to know, did he get laid at the ballroom that night? What happened at the ballroom that night?
I don't know if it's just me, but
Maturing is realizing just because someone got older in age doesn't mean that maturity followed them. Viewer discretion is advised.
I feel like there are some words that should just not at all exist in a grown man vocabulary. I'm gonna give you 5. So the first one, ouch. You're a grown ass man, so it hurts. You got a boo-boo.
Damn, you can't even say ouch no more? It's 2026 and you're not allowed to use the word ouch. You got to be like, yeah. A hammer fall on your toe, be like, yeah, nigga.
Okay, fellas, first word on the list is ouch. We can no longer say ouch because it's just not masculine enough for her. Despite the pain we may or may not feel, let's collectively remove the word ouch from her vocabulary to make her happy. Yeah, let's continue.
Literally. Literally what, sister girl? Don't piss me off.
Fellas, the second word on the list is literally. We must collectively remove the word literally from our vocabulary because it belongs to the women. She said that if we use the word literally, in her mind, it plays out as...
You know, I feel you, homie, but I'm tired of having this chick telling me what I can and can't say.
Would you end a relationship because you don't like your partner's career? A lot of Gen Zers would, according to new data. A new survey of more than 1,000 Americans reveals that
career chemistry, that's a thing now? You got to have career chemistry. I got to have game and a job that she like. It's not even just a good job. I got to get a job from the list of approved jobs.
Career incompatibility is a major dating deal breaker. A third of all Americans said they'd break off an otherwise great relationship because of a career mismatch. But for Gen Z, it was 44%, higher than any other age group. You're probably assuming this is all about money, right? Mismatched incomes. But it's actually a lot less shallow than that. Career compatibility is actually about values. Respondents defined it as shared views on everything from work-life balance to mutual support to just plain old schedules. Having different lifestyle expectations like income was actually cited the least, which is not to say that money doesn't matter at all to Gen Z. More than 1 in 4 also said they'd reject a partner for things like job instability or inconsistent income. But for the most part, it is about a values match. Gen Z simply doesn't seem interested in just dating for fun or in relationships that are mostly good but fundamentally misaligned on things like goals and work ethic and ambition. One thing seems clear: love isn't necessarily enough for Gen Z, which makes sense given the conditions they've come up in. And in today's world, well, it's not exactly hard to blame them for not being hopeless romantics.
You know, being of a particular age, it's amazing the changes that we've went through. I remember growing up hearing love is all we need. And now as an adult, I get reminded every day that love is never enough. Yeah, listen, when we were younger, I don't know if you're my age, Miss Cantrell, but when I was a young man, I remember hearing love was all we need. It was literally written in songs. It was quoted in movies. And we can build this thing together. Standing strong forever. Nothing's gonna top us. Nothing's gonna stop us now. All the 80s love songs were basically a variation of that. Love is all we need. For the entire decade of the 80s, that's all we heard. Love is all we need. Love is not gonna stop. Nothing's gonna stop us now. And then we become an adult. And it's no, you know what? Actually, right after the 80s, right by the end of the 80s, I remember being a kid. This is how I know it was the end of the 80s, because I was still young. And I think my mom and them were having a house party. And you know what song was big? Because back, they used to have house parties back then. The 80s were the end of the house party. But you know what song was big when I was a kid? You gotta love this. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. Whew. You got to have a J-O-B if you want to be with me, because ain't nothing going on but the rent. That was the jam. And it was really within my lifetime. I guess I was born into Love Is All We Need, but before I was a man, there was nothing going on but the rent. By the time I was a man grown, there was nothing going on but the rent. I feel like I was born right at the tail end of the good times. American Man, what's going on, man? Do you remember when there was nothing going on but the rent? Do you remember a time before that?
No, I don't remember a time before that, but I do remember that song. And yes, that was a thing. Like you got to get out there and work. It's odd, right? Like everyone's asking why no one's dating. You have to have a tech job if they have a tech job. You got to have the same schedule. If they work 7 to 8, you got to work 7 to 8 or 9 or 10, however they feel it situated. I mean, this is just getting ridiculous now. It almost seems like they're doing.
No, I gotta finish your thought.
It almost seems like they're doing it on purpose to stay single, because you're looking for someone to be exactly like you. That's not how this world works.
Yeah, SKC, it seems like you grew up in a gated cooning community where you didn't even let top 8, like the top R&B songs didn't even make it over the gate. It was a nice time. You must have had a nice childhood, SKC. But out here in the world of house parties and shit, this was the jam. This is what they were dancing to in the house party world. Ain't nothing going on but the rent. And not that love was ever enough anyway, but it gave, I think, let's go back to the idea of the blue pill for a minute, right? The blue pill is a great motivational strategy for the average man. The idea that, you love her, she loves you, and we're just going to stick together and make it work, nothing's going to stop us now. When the average man realizes how purely transactional a lot of this has become, do you think we'll ever be able to walk back from that cliff once men stare into the abyss that is the woman's black soul? Do you really think men can just easily walk back from the cliff once men have a good look at what women hold in their hearts? And this is why the blue pill was such a powerful thing, because once men, and this is why I think when you get back to the opening show and the title of the show, Gen Z isn't dating because they want women to obey. I think this is why overwhelmingly around the world, and again, feminists are relatively correct about this, but not for the reasons they think. They think men just hate women. But the reason why men have to oppress women in order for things to work right is because in your heart of hearts as women, the things that you want, the sexual decisions that you make will kill us all. And so the only solution to female choice is varying degrees of female oppression. And then once the women are oppressed, it gives men room to be fantastical. Men can now fantasize about how great and awesome women are, about how pure and divine and noble your feminine spirit is. And now that I'm high up on blue pill coke, I can go out there and, you know, get a good job, build a house, go fight a war, whatever. But I need that blue magic. Without that blue magic, everything dies. And right now, women are refusing to sell the blue magic, or actually, they're just out of it. Women forgot the recipe to blue magic, and niggas were high on that blue magic, and everything worked well. The trash got picked up. The kids went to school on time. The immigrants were on the other side of the border. Everything worked well when we were high on blue magic, and these bitches forgot the recipe. All right, I'm done. That's my rant. I'll come back in a minute. Mr. Enigma, welcome to the show, bro.
Yeah, do they realize that? Do they realize that they're getting exactly what they asked for? That this is all a product of everything that they asked for. That's what this is.
That's what I was going to touch on. That this is just what they asked for. It's having a. It's like what Dirty folks say they can't count, so they just want things.
Right.
And then you get this fruitcake of a economy.
Yeah. This seems like it is a list of endless wants, and that's another thing that's kind of killing the relationship world. Is like there's nothing is good enough. It seems like, and everybody. Barack Obama used to say this, and it's probably one of the best quotes you could ever remember him for. But you shouldn't let perfect be the enemy of good. And what I see oftentimes is women are throwing away good over and over again on the quest to find perfect.
I don't know if it's on a quest to find perfect. I think it's more on the quest to find. I think it's more on a quest to find which man is going to let me run roughshod over him and take care of me. That's mostly what I think this is. I don't think it's anything to do with perfect.
Well, perfect.
I think it's go ahead.
No, I said perfect may be subjective. Not to disagree with your argument, but I'm saying maybe that is a subjective definition of perfect.
Oh, right, correct. Yeah, okay, I see. I take your point.
I wouldn't say perfect. I would say better, just more.
Right. Which is, again, that's another sort of joke. It's a story I've heard before in these type of conversations where, like, you ever heard the man store joke? Where, like, you take a woman to the man store where all the good husbands are, and on the first floor, there's, like, really, really nice guys, but, you know, it's the basic guys, right? And then you go up on the next floor, the guys are even better. They got great jobs. They love kids. They're emotionally available and all that. And then the woman's like, these guys are great, but I wonder what's on the next floor. And then on the next floor, you get like the captains of industry, the CEOs of the world. Not only do they climb mountains, they literally own the mountain. You know, you get all those guys, and then the woman's like, well, hell,
tell me,
if I could get that guy, what's on the next floor? And they get upstairs to the next floor, and it's an exit right back downstairs. And that's basically the man store joke. It's like women are constantly looking for the better man until they run out of men completely.
Right. So it used to be we had breaks, we had policies in place to stop all that. You know, when you left your husband, you ain't have anything. You didn't get any support. You know, you just out there on your own, and then you know, you couldn't hustle the system. You didn't have the welfare or nothing like that. You didn't have the child support and all of that. So when you disconnected from a man, you that was that period where the risk of you just being out there. You know, you didn't monkey branch to another man, because what if that guy is playing you? He's just playing in your face. You know, I heard a story of like. Well, I used to witness this actually, like women, like older women getting played with these celebrity scams. It's like a Nigerian prince scam, but with like a celebrity from Hallmark or something, or Brad Pitt. You know what I'm saying? They divorce their husbands for these AI celebrities, and then spend all this money on them, and then and then from the divorce of the husband, they get like alimony or something.
The Nigerian prince dating scam is probably one of my favorite internet scams.
This is gonna be a very hard pill for some of you to swallow, so I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. This Gen Z, we are cooked in the dating scene.
Your eyes are very far apart. Makes me nervous.
Especially my age group. I'm 19. It's actually chaos.
There are 19 paces between your left eye and your right eye.
Out here. I'm Ghanaian. All the niggas, everybody knows everybody being Ghanaian. So can you imagine how hard that is? Just can't wait to meet my future husband. This generation is out here playing way too much. This is gonna be a very hard pill for some of you to swallow.
Here's my millennial take on the news today. An article came out saying Gen Z dating is on the decline due to loneliness and inflation, and I totally get it. When you go out with your friends and spend money, you're guaranteed to have a good time. But when you go out with a stranger and especially have to pay for parking, drinks, travel, food, and end up having an awkward night, it's totally a waste. That's why Gen Z dating is on the decline. You can have an awkward night alone for free. Here's my millennial take on the news.
You know what? There's a joke I keep hearing, and it's a bit crass, but I think it speaks to a kind of economic reality. Make second families affordable again. Now, because the running joke is that men back in the day, and plus, the economy back in the day was so strong that a man could work his 8-9 hours at the factory, have his wife at home raising the kids, happy to see him, and have a second woman in another side of town or a different city somewhere. And everybody was provided for, everybody was happy, everybody understood the mission. And obviously, yeah, most men didn't have simultaneous families. It's not even a thing really, but it's the running joke, right? But the idea is that the economics of dating were so much in the favor of men who, frankly, the economics of dating have to be lopsided in the man's favor in order for men to participate in overwhelming numbers. That's what's really going on right now. The economics of dating are essentially like 50-50, meaning women basically make the same money as men. And so we're coming into it with the same level of economic ability, yet the men have the lion's share of the economic responsibility when it comes to dating. So that creates an imbalance that pushes men away. It's just, like he said, if I go out with my boys or if I do something by myself that I know I like, I'm almost guaranteed to have a good time. You spend money on a random chick, the odds go down dramatically. And hell, there's always 40 balls, right? But nothing is perfect and everything's broken.
Okay, so for everybody that don't really know, I just got out of a relationship, a long relationship with my BM. We got 2 kids together and shit like that. But I ain't never really tried to throw myself back into the market how I've been trying now, right? Because I feel like that relationship is dead now, right? So I've been trying to put myself back into the market, and bro, this shit is whack. Bro, I'll swear, I will call her, bro. We gotta make this shit work, bro. This shit ain't working.
God damn, the old ways really were the best ways, I tell you. Ain't nothing like getting back out there in the world and being like, yo, we gotta make our family work. I don't want to be out here in the streets with these hoes. I miss my kids. It's really real when you got to make that phone call, bro.
Work it how I've been trying now, right? Because I feel like that relationship is dead now, right? So I've been trying to put myself back into the market, and bro, this shit is whack, bro. I'll swear, I will call her, bro. We gotta make this shit work, bro. This shit ain't working. I don't know, bro. Nobody looking to build. It's no more 90s love. Everybody just looking to fuck and get paid, bro. Leave me the fuck out that shit, bro. I don't think niggas know the STD rate in Philly. Like, I'm cool, bro. Oh, these bitches.
Yeah, it's high in all the black districts. I'm not gonna get into the whys and the hows, but yeah, the rates are high in all the black precincts, bro.
Just out here fucking, they fucking faggots.
Damn, bro, really frustrated. Nigga said the water tainted out shit. The water in the dating pool got dookie in it. Oh my God, what's going on here? What's going on, man? It's rough out here.
All right, peace. So let me tell you something that the millennials is not telling you as far as the people that are Gen Zers. So the millennials, we logged into this universe in 1980, right? 1980 to 1996. Right now, you're 45. Gen Z, you logged into this universe in 1997. And right now, you're 29, right? And then my son's generation, Gen Alpha, they logged into this universe in 2010, right? So they're about 13 years old right now, 2026. So millennials who logged into this universe in 1980, we saw the technological shift happen. We seen everything happen, right? We had the flip phones. You had to put a DVD and a VHS into the device in order to watch a movie. Nothing was digital. We come from the analog world, but we saw it switch over to the digital world. And then some of the people that was with us got programmed into the new universe. So what happens is the Gen Zs and the Gen Alpha is the ones that are going to completely destroy dating. They are the ones completely desensitized from human connection.
Well, wouldn't these be the children of the millennials and the Gen Z and whatnot? So that means it would have been the people before them that broke dating. Like, how do children break dating? Yeah, Willie, I was trying to let that one go. I was just about to skip this one. The way the nigga talk irked the hell out of me. I ain't even gonna lie. I can't even lie. The way he was talking, the nigga sound woke. I couldn't do it. I'm actually gonna leave this video. It's too long anyway.
People are strong.
So lately I've been hearing a lot about how the dating situation for Generation Z is just god-awful, and I just wanted to shed some light onto that, speak a few words about it. I've heard about so many people just giving up entirely on dating in their late teens.
I don't want to be mean, but he definitely has bitchless physiognomy. He just his body build gives bitch free. You have a zero bitch physiognomy. Nigga look touch starved. Mister, you sound like you was about to say something. I heard you come off mute.
No, you good. I was trying to figure out the phone there. I'm playing around with the phone. But no, I think what was really going on is that the cultural shift. I remember when about 10, 15 years ago, when rap music wasn't about, bitches and hoes, fuck these bitches, you know what I'm saying? It was all like, she got me depressed, she got me messed up and all that. You know what I'm saying? But they start singing about bitches and rap music. I think that was a crack for that I noticed.
I remember when LL Cool J was rapping about "I Need Love." Dun, dun. Remember that jam?
Yeah, he did that one time though.
Well, no, that was actually LA. I mean, for LL Cool J, he rapped to the women a lot. But I will say it was that one time he said, "I need love." The rest of it was just he was trying to smash. You're doing it and doing it and doing it well.
Exactly.
Like LL Cool J was mostly about smashing, but when he was a young nigga, he was trying to be in love too.
Tupac was too, though. Tupac, there was a video of Tupac when he was a theater kid. He was talking about, it was a video. It was like a candid interview. And he was all like, we need to protect the women, with the nose ring in his head, and he had the Gumby cut, the high top fade with the slit part.
Mm-hmm. And then one day he got his heart broken, his feelings hurt, and it was California love. Dun, 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 dun. It was
Yeah,
over
yeah,
after that. It was no coming
exactly.
back.
It became when bitches get horny, niggas die. That's when it became after that.
Yeah.
And why are they doing this? Well, from what I've seen, it's because it's too much effort. It's not worth the heartbreak that they go through. It's not worth the depression that they experience. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I really don't blame some of those people. I mean, I've been in 2 different relationships, both ended in horrible ways. And when you experience a breakup, everything that you two have been through
He wasn't bitchless. I take it back.
can kind of feel all for nothing. You made all those memories, had all these fun times, all for it to just end one day out of nowhere. Now, I do think it is worth the heartbreak and depression that you experience. Let me explain. These memories that you make with this person that you loved, whether they're still with you or not, they are still happy memories, and you should look at them as such. When I look back at all the memories I made with my ex-girlfriend Allison, I still miss her, but I still cherish those memories because they were happy memories.
This nigga sound dead inside. This is how you talked after you've been soul raped.
Some of the happiest ones in my life, in fact. So I don't think dating is all for nothing. It gives us happy memories, it teaches us new and important lessons. And with every mistake that you made is a new lesson to be learned, and you can carry that lesson over.
This nigga got Chat GPT as a therapist. I nigga be laying on a couch, pouring his heart out to his cell phone, asking Chat GPT questions, and these are the answers he got.
Into your next relationships, you can have a little bit more success with it. You take what you learn from your previous mistakes and apply it to the now. And now for the more controversial side of things. Something that I see all the time is guys just giving up on dating, and then the women asking, where are all the good men at? I hate to break it to you, but all these good men, most of them at least, are the ones that are giving up on dating. At least that's just from what I've seen. Some of those people, they've been lied to, they've been cheated on, they've been exploited for money, they've been played. Those people have been through hell and back in their eyes. What I see happening is that most of the nice guys are getting thrown off to the side, and all the girls are going for the mean guys. By doing this, you're putting yourself at risk from mental harm.
Muted. I hate when I'm muted up. This thing's supposed to unmute me. Listen, you heard that, right? The girls are going for the toxic guys, right? So what are we supposed to do? Stay toxic. Toxic is more exciting than lovable. Toxic is more exciting than emotionally available. Hell, toxic is more interesting. The nigga who's got toxic masculinity is generally more interesting than a nigga who wants to be her non-sexual companion. Be toxic.
Harm, physical harm, whatever this bad guy is doing to you. And at the same time, you're also putting the good guys through a lot more heartbreak. Now, before you start flaming me in the comments section, I don't think it's women's fault entirely. I have heard of some women giving up on dating because they can't find a good man. Look, it's not just the men that are being cheated on, exploited for money, lied to, whatever, it's the women too. Everyone goes through these sort of things. It's not just men only go through this or women only go through this, it's everyone. So if you ask me, I think the men and women, everyone of our generation, Gen Z, need to take a good long look at themselves, figure out what they're doing wrong, and try to fix that. It is very important that as people we learn to take responsibility for our own actions. It is the mature thing to do. And it's hard to admit that you've screwed up, I know. But in the end, it's the right thing to do.
The way he's staring at the camera is just unnerving. Some of these people on TikTok are just really strange looking.
So I'm not saying that only the women need to do better or only the men need to do better. I'm saying all of us need to do better. If we recognize our mistakes, we can learn from them and hopefully never make that same mistake again. That's why it's important to take responsibility for your actions. Because if you don't, you'll never recognize that you messed up, and then you're likely to make that same mistake again. So back to the original point. Dating in my generation, Gen Z, has just completely gone to hell. And every single one of us, all of us, need to take a good long look at ourselves, figure out why people are giving up on dating, why they feel so hopeless, why do they feel that way. We need to figure out what we are doing wrong and then fix that. It might take a long time for us to improve ourselves, but you know what they say, Rome wasn't built in a day. As long as we all collectively realize what we are doing wrong and work to fix that, that is what matters. If we all, as people, collectively work on ourselves and fix our flaws, we will create a brighter future for ourselves.
You know, I hate this kid all of a sudden. It just occurs to me, you're using way too many words to say take women's rights away. We have created a fundamental imbalance in the game. Women have a lot, men don't have enough. And until we reset that balance, none of that soul searching, it's all my fault. We just have to figure out what we did wrong. None of that shit really matters in the big picture of it all. Take women's rights away.
Yeah, take it away, because they'll never sit back and be like, you know what? Maybe I should, X, Y, and Z. Like when was the last time you heard a woman be honest about her choice in dating?
Which brings me back to the original topic. Gen Z isn't dating because they want women to obey. At a certain point, it all looks futile. Constantly performing to please a woman's emotional state is a permanent hamster wheel that you can never get off of cleanly. And so I think young Gen Z men are just avoiding the hamster wheel. It's like Game of Thrones when Daenerys said she's here to break the wheel. Gen Z men are breaking the hamster wheel, and it needs to be broken. So I think we're going to wrap this one up right here, though. Free Zone says, these simps will vote the way the box blows. Well, hopefully things can change. That is my hope, is that things change over time. Mr. O, you hit the link right as I'm making my way out the door. What's going on, Mr. O?
Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, end the show.
Nah, you came up to get your shit off while you're here, man. You came up, you might as well speak, and then we're gonna shut it down.
I was just gonna say, man, Gen Z is and late millennials are just weird. I mean, this is like the weirdest asexual casual dating motherfuckers I ever seen in my entire life. I mean, one man they say they so sex deprived, but I see at least a pregnant chick almost every other day. So which one is it?
Well, there's also math that suggests that the high T guys are getting all the girls pregnant. The top tier guys. So it's not the average man is getting women pregnant. But on the part of thirstiness, remember, testosterone in men is supposed to be at an all-time low right now. So how are we thirsty if we have low T?
It's so funny when you said that shit about the high T guys are the ones getting all the girls pregnant. I couldn't help but to think about Jay Prince for a minute, because Jay Prince, that of all the crazy shit he say, that is one thing he says that does give me pause. It's like, most men don't actually live to reproduce, and being as that, like seeing as how I've actually reproduced multiple times, I do feel kind of special about that. I ain't even gonna lie, my T is up there, nigga. Only high T men make babies. I got a bunch of them. I feel really good about that.
I mean, it is what it is.
How many baby mamas you got, though?
Only the one.
You gotta get those numbers up, bro. Those are Ricky numbers.
Hey, you ain't even lying, though. You ain't even lying. We gotta boost these numbers up, man. I got a community to build.
Yeah, right. Dang right. the chicks that you had showed us earlier, a lot of them, especially again, we got to go ahead and do what's that I said in the chat yesterday, the divested to pro-black pipeline. We got to really study this method. We also got to study these Gen Z women out here that's how can I say this? They talk a good game, but they can't keep a man though. And these supposed to be like the most sexually free, sexually driven women of all time periods. I'm just not getting it. They had the sexual mobility of Snell on Lean.
I mean, it's like, I think the problem is most women who are attractive get men. They just don't want the men that they get. And instead of just sort of dealing with it on those terms, they kind of create this overblown projection about this, that, and the third to explain a simple, basic truth. You're just not attracting the men you're attracted to. That is a skill issue like no other. Nobody can help you but you,
And then we got, again, we got to do another study. The septum ring, the granny glasses, and the natural hair, whether it be an afro, locks, or anything. It's like when you see them three attributes on a modern day woman, it's basically like a dead giveaway, like just walk away.
Hey, help me out here, guys. SKC in the chat, he says, Hood, do me a solid and play the link Free Zone made about 2-parent homes versus single-parent ones on that Hant channel. That was hilarious. Free Zone, do you got a link for us here? I'm getting a request. Apparently, I'm getting a paid request, so I gotta take the money and treat it respectfully now. Do you have the link? Because I don't see any links here in the chat. I got it for you. I'm throwing the link in the chat right now on Free Zone. You motherfuckers want to get all interactive and lively after the 3-hour mark. I like to wrap it up at the 3-hour mark. Now you got me all nervous about the links you're gonna play because shit gets weird after 3 hours up here. But I want to see this link now. All right, the link is in the chat.
You only got one Chicago one. You only got one Chicagoan up here, so you good. Look, usually after the 3-hour mark, you have 2 Chicagoans and random links. You good now.
It'd be 2 Chicago niggas, 4 Brooklyn niggas, and it just gets shitty, bro. It really does. But all right, Free Zone, what's going on, man?
Well, so I was trying to find the link. I was actually trying to find the StreamYard link before SKC posted that. And that's not even why I wanted to come up, but give me a second.
Talking about though? Do you have that Hant thing SKC's talking about? Because I don't know.
Oh yeah. It's worth breaking the 3-hour mark rule for because it's amazing.
All right.
But
and, I watch Hant from time to time. I call Hant, with no shade, I call Hant the Hoe Whisperer because those panels where it's just Hant and like 5 women, he does a great job of wrangling all these different estrogenic spirits, but I don't watch it other than that though. I like his work with women. He does a lot of interesting work with the chicks.
I love it. I love it over there. I love it over there.
Appreciate Chicago dude sending us in the overtime like I'm MJ in the 90s, man. Appreciate me. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna end the show. We was not gonna break this video down. Now look at us.
Chicago luck, man. I don't know what to tell you. Chicago luck. I appreciate you guys. Shout out to SKC with the 30 ball. Let's go, y'all.
It costs a lot of money to bring the real. And with this, I dress myself in cashmere. I dress myself in $100 pleated slacks. I dress myself in alligator shoes. I wear a $15,000 Rolex. I got Mercedes Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. I got Mercedes Benz, Rolls Royce, the biggest house on the biggest deal. Yeah, we don't care. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, gift stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine like jet flying. Son of a gun, the biggest star of them all. It costs a lot of money to bring the real world champion on location. Only an Arnie and Ricky. We do it better than everybody else. Don't wrap me up. No.
Good,
So what you think?
I don't feel like you're safe.
Funny, Phil.
I do feel like the two-parent households are going to make more productive citizens, but we got enough of those. I feel like our world needs some shaking.
Why you say that? No, we don't.
No, we don't. We got enough people that's gonna wake up and go to work from 9 to 5 every day. That's a productive. we don't have enough shakers. Niggas who gonna rebel for a better way.
Oh, here we go.
And I feel like that's what a one-parent household do bring. Man, it gotta be shaker, though. Like it's almost like the stars got to align for that to happen.
So we need rebellions.
No, so you saying that even on the one parent, that single parent still has to be competent, right?
Absolutely.
Competent and capable. I can see it when you look at it that way.
LeBron James. If goddamn me, LeBron James come from a two-parent household.
I'm good,
so what you think?
I don't feel like you're safe.
Funny, Phil.
I do feel like the two-parent households are going to make more productive citizens, but we got enough of those. I feel like.
Yeah, you got to let it ride, man. It gets better. Shout out to.
That was the whole minute, but like, when did we get enough productive citizens? I don't really remember that.
Man, these type of nigga again, hood, these type of civil rights, black bring the community back. See, this type of logical thinking right here is that why niggas ain't gonna make it.
Is that 2K from Anton Daniels' channel?
Yeah.
So 2K it has the same issue like Corey Holcomb, where he's socially astute, but when it comes to like politics and everything, it just crumbles. He spits a lot of good information when it comes to like relationships and people and all that. But then when we start talking about more structured conversation or topics, it just falls apart.
Yeah, that whole thing about, all right, you respect that two-parent homes make productive citizens, yet you want to make rebellious, you want to make rebels that only the one-parent home can produce because somehow you think those are like the warrior class. Like black folk have this weird fascination with this shit called the warrior class. Like we need goons.
Because black culture, criminality is part of black culture. Aggressive behavior, horse playing, roughhousing is indoctrinated into black culture. If you can't take the fade, get off the block.
The immortal Pookie. It really is like an archetype you can't get away from. The Pookie is an immortal archetype. The Pookie is always with us, no matter where you go. This is why they say you can take the nigga out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out the nigga, because Pookie is immortal. And that's what I think. That's the glue that I think escapes these arguments and guys who hold these positions, where it's like you want. But by understanding and accepting that the two-parent home, the patriarchal Christian style two-parent home is the nuclear core of Western civilization, right? And so as a black person, you accepted that is the most productive, most efficient pairing model that you can operate under. Yet you want to do something that's inherently opposite of that because you think somehow that will help you. To do what? Build more Western civilization? I don't get the logic break. Like it's amazing to me that they can't see the break in their own logic. Let's put it.
Hood. We are talking about black people, specifically niggas, and the thing about niggas, logic is absent from them. To apply logic is like how can I say this? Like applying pineapples to a pizza.
Pineapple pepperoni pizza is actually delicious, but I'm gonna forgive you for that.
I'm telling you, man, this the reason why I be hating niggas, man. I'm telling you, man. It just be us. I be hating niggas, man.
Hey, Ryu, your mic was trying to connect for like 10 minutes. You finally made it.
Can you hear me though?
Yes, I can hear you.
I am so sorry about that. I am, my bad. I just wanted to get in on this. Hello, everybody. Now, my daughter's Gen Z, and it's just like, what's happening? Me personally, I have no problems approaching somebody on the street, let alone a female, and saying hi. So I don't get it. You know, am I missing something?
From what I hear, cold approach is dead. So yeah.
What? But I no, I've had people like almost follow me home. I got a woman in the crib, so it's like I can't go too far. I could just be at the grocery store at Aldi's across the street and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I see you." Blah, blah, blah.
You know what I hear though? I hear women themselves rejecting the dating app space too. Women are saying that dating apps are whack too. So maybe women are starting to want cold approaches to come back now.
Yeah,
So cold approach gets you put on TikTok. You see?
Well, hey, let me get in there real quick, because what it really is the distinction of, and I want to say it's millennials. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the defining line is the people who were born before social media and the internet, and the people who were born after. Where I believe the millennials have the best of both worlds. So people who came after only know a world with social media and the internet, and so that's how they interact with each other. So because of that, there's very little need for a face-to-face interaction, because most of the time, those people prefer, and I use the word prefer, to interact virtually first before they interact face-to-face. And so that's why the social awkwardness is, and it's not just men, it's women. The women are socially awkward too. That's why it's not shocking that guy that you played, you thought he didn't have a bitch, couldn't get one. You think these younger folks that are socially awkward can't get them? They can get them, because the women are just as socially awkward as well.
Yeah, the weird, funny looking ex, huh?
Well,
yeah.
The other thing to add to that is, you can't tell me that they haven't seen how their mother has reacted to their dad.
Yep.
And that reaction is why they don't.
If they have a dad.
Hold on, Bandit. We kind of stepped on that for a minute, because that was deep. Start over again about the mom and the dad thing.
Okay. If you see the way your mother treats your father, or your father treats your mother, you're not telling me that's not going to have a reaction to you? How you see the world, how you
know what, Bandit? And this is a very personal tale. I do not remember my mother and my father ever in the same room getting along. My mom and dad were broken up before my real memories started to form.
But Bandit, there's another component to that as well. It's also, what does the individual parent tell you when the spouse is not around?
Well, I'm getting to that. You're getting to that. Let's take that at next generation. So you're telling me that if you didn't like the situation that was in, would you repeat what your parents did or try something new?
Well, I think, and
if you're going to repeat, real quick, I'll finish. I'll land the plane right now. If you don't like what happens, you're probably going to look into history and figure out, what did other people, what did my grandparents do? What did other generations do? And that's why you get what this topic is talking about. It's because they're going to go back to what works, and then I'll shut up.
Well, and there may be overcompensation, right? I don't mind love bombing, right? That's just me. But as a Gen Xer, I can compartmentalize. I can look at a motherfucker across the room and be like, God damn, I can't stand this motherfucker, but I will not say it. But then on the other side, I can look at somebody and be like, oh my gosh, you just look gorgeous today. You got your thing on, and I've done it. And they blush and they fawn, they kind of melt a little bit, but then I just go on my merry way, because for me, interacting in person versus, like you mentioned, the virtual world, I think is more cogent.
Yeah, but let's play this out. If you see that one side plays that love bombing, and that's how they get results, and then you're just looking at the other parent figure is emotionally getting drained, you're gonna be like, oh, I see how the game is played. You're basically showing you how the game, and then what are you going to do? You're going to do the exact opposite, because you're not going to want to turn out to be what happened, because you've seen what happened to your one parent. Your one parent got devastated.
No, we're on the same page. I mean, because
that's why
that's
why Gen Z is acting this way, because they've seen what millennials have, their millennial parents have done.
Sure. And
to be honest with you, millennial parents are just caricatures of what a relationship is anyways. It's all fluff. There's no core. They're rotten to the core. It's just facade.
That's like boomers.
They're worse than that, because at least boomers had to go through crap. Millennials didn't. They're just, and this is coming from a late millennial here. They're just vapid, transactional people.
Sure.
And when that's going to create kids that are going to be like this. That's why I spend so much time with my ex-kids to do that, because I was trying to prevent this from happening, because I saw this a mile away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember having that conversation too. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Ryu, you sound like you were trying to jump in there. Then I want to read this super chat, and we can kind of. I want to start to wrap this up in a minute,
brother man. Thank you for having me, by the way.
No doubt. Welcome all the time, bro. But let me read this super chat really quickly. Shout out to Dick Thug with the $10, and thank you to everybody supporting the stream today. Appreciate all you guys coming out, trying to get this channel back to its former glory. We're just about there. I am actually curious now of what other ideas they hold. Like the guy who said telling your kids not to have tattoos and sagging pants is showing white supremacy. You know, that's another thing I wanted to bring up before we wrap this conversation up. How much of this stuff is like low-key racially coded? Because somebody typed in the chat, cold approach is alive and well in the Latin community. Mm-hmm. And I tend to think that's true. You know, the Latin community is still a little bit more lovey-dovey than the rest of the Western world. For whatever reasons, Latin America, you know, for all the machismo and all the spicy Latina memes, they seem to be doing something other people aren't getting right. And it's no surprise that most of the passport bros wind up in the Latin world. Most black men aren't taking their passports to Africa.
Well, yeah. And I'm gonna have to say, and I take a little bit of umbrage with that term, just because I'm a certain generation. But yeah,
I think telling thing with it.
Well, hold on. Which term exactly, Ryu?
The term passport, bro, right? I already did a little video on that, right? I mean, we're just supposed to have a freaking passport. That's what I was told by my mother, who's a boomer, right? You know, that was the first thing I got when I was 18, a millennia ago, if you will. But that allowed me to, you know, go and see and do, and just to have the acumen and the chutzpah to approach someone and say, hey, you know, where is the, I don't know, the soda shop? Where, you know, how are you doing? You know, oh, you look pretty today, blah, 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 blah. They can ignore me, they can reject me, or they can respond in a way that I'm like, oh my gosh, this person actually wants to have a conversation with me. Regardless of whether I speak their language correctly or not, or whether I'm in the States, mind you.
You know, and that's funny, Ryu?
Go ahead.
When I was young and I was taking like Spanish classes, I didn't realize that even that basic entry-level Spanish language was actually Spanish game. Donde está la biblioteca? Don't you remember that shit? Donde está la biblioteca? That shit be working for niggas, bro.
Exactly. And then all of a sudden, oh, you speak Spanish. You know how many times when I speak Spanish, people are like, oh, you're Dominican. And I'm like, no, soy gringo. Soy gringo negro. No. You're Dominicano. And I'm like,
notice they don't bring the people back to America. You go overseas, you're staying overseas. And that should be
I'm with you on that one, though. That's a whole other combo, but I'm definitely with you.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And, you know, even here, because again, I'm in Minnesota, y'all. So I've seen it kind of change, right? You know, and again, all this other kind of crap. I don't want to delineate from your conversation, Hood, because I think it is a good conversation. I think, and again, I'm going to post this on my your stream here, bro, because, you know, I don't see the issue per se. I think it's mostly online. You know, it's mostly virtual, but when you interact with people, it's a whole different vibe. And women are so like open to be like, oh my gosh, you're actually having a conversation with me. You're actually talking to me. You know what I mean? You know, you put a little cologne on and you smell good and just like, hey, what, you know, when was the last? Oh, what about that Harry Potter? You know, start with that.
Yeah, I actually think it's easier out here for men who do have social skills to succeed in the dating market. Because a lot of the guys that
skills are tough to come by nowadays. But you are right, because you said something earlier. I want to double
that's
back
the
to
issue
about the millennial thing, and I think this is a me thing, especially when you said it. I kind of remember. You remember chat lines, like regular telephone dial-up shit chat lines, where like that for a lot of people, that was the as a teenager, it was a chance to practice just conversational game or whatever. And so that was back in the day where we had that cold approach thing. So like learning to talk just generally in a conversation, whether it was face to face or on the phone, that was a whole level of social interaction that you kind of had to master as a part of your coming of age. Whereas like now you have like texting and shit, and texting as a communication is a different style. It's a different beast than actual verbal communication. So that creates a completely different behavior set. And so I realize now that I was fortunate maybe that I grew up in an era where I learned how to have conversation. Plus, the technology came along. I learned how to have light, fun text conversation as well. And then, you know, email. Remember that movie Sleepless in Seattle with the email thing? You've got mail. Like that was a whole evolution of the dating world, where it's like, if you were born after the you've got mail period, all you really remember is digital communication.
What
it takes the layer away.
What about Garden State? What about what was the other one? There's a whole bunch of rom-coms that basically didn't age well, making these people all rose-colored glasses and whole bunch of them.
Do you know how many times at work I have to like make phone calls because other millennials, Gen Z people are too scared to make phone calls?
Is that
like,
really true?
It's insane. No one, they're literally having a panic attack. Their hands start getting shaky. They get all white in the face. It's insane.
Well,
they don't know how to speak on the phone. It's
how does, you know, if that's
like, it's not hard. It's a greeting. Introduce yourself. Say something witty.
Right. Well,
try
if
to relate to the person, and then hang up. It's not hard.
My question is rocket science here. How do these people actually like get to work? Because like, getting out of bed, walking out of the house,
it's basically just like an oral presentation. You say something witty. You tell them what you're going to want to talk about. You kind of lure them away, and then you sum it up at the end, and then you hang up and you give your digits. That's basically it. It's not hard to do this. It baffles me. Like if you can't even communicate with somebody, how the hell are you supposed to make a relationship with somebody? Yet bring people into the world.
I wonder.
You don't. You don't. And that's why a lot of them have rationalized that it's easier to just forego relationships because they know they can't formulate them. You know what I mean? It's a coping mechanism and a post hoc rationalization.
Oh, by the way, Friezo, I ain't forget you mocking me in the chat. Hashtag HopeServative. Yeah, nigga.
Oh, yeah.
I am not so old and jaded that I don't dream and believe. Okay, goddamn it, you are not gonna take my dreams from me, nigga.
I thought this was the black pill. You know, there's no hope area, man. I was just messing with you, man.
There is no hope for the hopeless. I will meet you halfway. There's no hope for the hopeless.
Jeffrey, man, really, you dogging our boy Hood Server? Come on, dog. I'm with him.
Yeah, that's my dog, man. He know what it is, man.
Hey, Hood. I'm glad you played that clip from that black and white movie. I had seen that a couple of weeks ago. I was meant to do a damn show, a stream with that. You know how they always talk about how the men from the past were all these gung ho dudes is out here just spend game all day. They was just womanized and everything. And we got this movie clip from what was that, from 50s or 60s?
I would say 50s, could be early 60s, but yeah, roughly, you know, you got the time period roughly correct.
Yeah, so they had an incel problem back in that time period that nobody want to talk about.
Well, I mean, incel is just the natural state of like 30% of the male population. I mean,
yeah, true.
It's brutal. The mating scenario for all organisms is totally ruthless. When you just get down, remove your humanity, just look at dating and not dating, look at mating from an animal perspective, because human beings, as good as we are, we haven't totally escaped the biological reality. Nope. That being said, from a biological perspective, the male in the species, he's up against a lot when it comes to mating. And most men won't ever cross that finish line. So, and that's why I said earlier, like, you know, as a dude, having made 3 kids already, knowing that, especially nowadays, knowing that puts me in a rare kind of air. Historically speaking, most males don't actually mate. So the incel is the natural state of man for a lot of people.
And know what the crazy thing is? The bar is so insanely low. Like, literally, you could tell your son to, I'm going to use SKC's thing in the chat. You could tell him to make a reservation at a restaurant, and that's basically the equivalent of 1940 sticking up to a bully, or if someone spilt water on your date and beating the person up. That's the equivalency of like competence now. Having a phone call to a restaurant to book a reservation.
You reminded me of something when you were talking earlier.
So bad.
When you brought this very thing up earlier, and it gave me like a flashback. You remember being in high school when the teacher would ask you to stand up in front of the class and read a thing to people? I was never afraid of that moment, and I know a lot of kids hated that. And I just because you know I read on air. I remember my dad used to make me read to him like as a fucking chore. And so when I got in front of all you illiterate public school kids, I was like, "Yeah, let's read."
Yeah, as long as I didn't have a boner,
they can't do that today because they can't even read before high school.
I think that very experience of being put up in front of the group, and then you have to just kind of do your thing in front of the people.
Man, it was some y'all remember the Pizza Hut coupons? Y'all remember the book reports we ought to do when you used to get a Pizza Hut coupon? That's what basically made me read all the time.
Oh, the Scholastic Club, nigga. I got my Pizza Hut, the little personal pan pizza.
Yep, I got the same thing. That's awesome.
Wow, I remember that, Mr. Oh, you brought it back.
That's
oh my god,
memories too much.
I feel like schools have kind of abused kids, or they've taken that away from kids. The kind of social developments, like having all these screens and digital stuff in schools, is probably a negative thing. If we're gonna have the kids, like, one, I think most schools should be co-ed. You should be co-ed until college, but I mean, not co-ed. You should be separated. You shouldn't be co-ed until college. I think having young boys and girls in school.
Yes, because
the best thing.
The problem is, instead of being competitive at what you're doing, you're competitive to get the girl, and that's a huge problem.
Yeah, this is why uniforms are a good idea. I like schools with uniforms because it takes away from that little edge of just competition. Let the competition be academic as much as possible, because kids are going to find all kind of shit to fight about anyway.
Even with uniforms, bro, they're gonna find what. Look, man, you can't.
Because Jordans, you still got Jordans on. I know.
They gonna put that hat backwards. They gonna flip the jacket inside out. They gonna do the Fresh Prince thing, man.
You either can do something or you can't.
Hold on, Ben, I couldn't hear you. Got it.
It's got to be straight competency. You basically, can you do something? Yes or no. Not like, oh, he still can't do it. We're gonna fail him upwards. It's either you can do an activity or you can't. You can do. It's like, we know if something's physical in gym. Can you lift the weight? Yes or no. If you can't with the weight, you failed. Now that just means that I have another chance to try again.
Yeah, it's
not like the fact that we have in high school now where 50% of people can't even read at a high school level when they graduate high school is pathetic.
Because they not incentivized to.
I mean, again,
and then you wonder why these kids are having communication issues and how they can't talk to normal people, or they're quote unquote, I'm just different. No, you just don't have any interpersonal skills because you never had to create them. You never had the opportunity to learn interpersonal skills, which is tragic.
Well, and it's by design. I mean, to be honest, right? Because
and the thing is, if you don't fix this in high school, you're going to create the incels in college, and then you're going to create the crazy leftists that are going to go on the streets and try to think that a 2-ton vehicle versus a cop and you don't get pew-pewed is a good thing. Like, it's all coming to this. It all makes sense.
Well, and that's
so either you fix the men or you don't.
That is the culmination of the reason why that no government is going to educate its people.
And Friesen's got another thing. We got to bring pride back.
Oh,
like none of this. You know, it's okay to be this.
Hello?
No, it's not.
Give us 1 second. You Bandit, you cut Ryu off. Finish your point, Ryu. I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Again,
I think we're all disconnected a little bit. Sometimes there's lag, but Ryu, you had the floor. You
I
got
see.
it,
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, and I'm curtailing upon Bandit's point. I see it again, being strongly Gen X. I was born in 71, right? So it's like this is what I see. It's just like we had critical thinking worksheets. I remember them yellow, purple paper, whatever the heck they had because they were paper shortage or whatever. I remember doing them. Now, me raising a daughter in a Chinese immersion school, talking to her English teacher of like, why are they not learning penmanship? Why are they not learning cursive? Well, and I'm thinking, well, okay, yeah, we're in the information age, the digital age, but what happens when the lights go out, right?
Yep.
It's and so all it is at the end of the day is being able in mass to control people. Let's dumb them down, just enough so that that's all it is, right? That's the way I look at it, and that's why I'm a survivalist, if you will. I got my little thing. I do this and I do that because I'm trying to live outside of this matrix, if you will, right? And I think that's what we're talking about, right? That's why I have no problem, cold approaching people. And many times they're shocked. They're like, my gosh, somebody actually wants to have a conversation with me in real time? Real time.
Well, I'm on my Daniel plain view from There Will Be Blood. I just think most people, I just want to get enough money so I get away from them. You know what I'm saying? Have my little mini mansion hut, with my PS5.
I do.
Hey, in studio, to your point, in reference to the video that was
not hearing everybody, so I'm gonna dip out. Thanks for having me up.
Oh no,
peace, Bandit.
All right, you welcome.
But in reference to in reference to the Hamp video that was played, right? Trying to say that we need more one-parent households in terms of rebelling. That was the video that was just played.
Okay, I think I missed it, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
The actual reality is the opposite, because in order to rebel against the system, you have to create structure that is independent of that system. And one-parent households are incredibly more dependent upon the system than two-parent households. So you have to two-parent households give you that stability, that ability to gather more resources so that you don't need the system, and that's how you rebel against it. But again, post hoc rationalization, they have to say that because it gives that whole warrior class thing. It's just like it's silly. It's silly. The true warrior class is going to be the class that is able to rebel because they have plenty of resources to not need the system. And that's what they don't understand.
What are they rebelling against? What are they warring against, right? And this is what bugs me about the whole warrior class thing. You are a warrior against Western civilization.
The zeitgeist. No, girls can be boys and boys can be girls, and it's all good. No.
Yeah.
That's
the Weimar Republic 2026. That's what it is. Weimar Republic.
Because when people are more isolated, they have to depend more on the system, which they think gives them more power, but it actually gives the power structure more power.
Yeah.
Because you can think you're making demands and all that stuff, but it just ends up being cries of the powerless. That's it. And they just manipulate that to further isolate you. So you have to create a structure where you don't need the system. That way you don't make any demands of it. And as a matter of fact, you actually do the opposite. You find ways to profit off of the dysfunction that they're giving to other people. But when you go ahead.
Freezone, you've been around for a while. You probably remember board game theory. Remember SKC and we talked about this a lot on air.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Have you played board games as a family growing up?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mostly chess and some space.
Answer this question, Ryu. What do you suppose are the soft personal social skills, the interpersonal and social skills that you learned playing board games within your family dynamic?
Okay. Off the top of my head, if you're asking me off the top of my head, is to watch out for cheetahs. Watch out for them motherfuckers over there.
There's one.
Yeah, that's one. You're asking, how many are you asking?
No, I'm not how many, just anything you can think of. Just because board games, playing, you realize play for children is study. And so as a kid, we played board games with our family, not learning, not knowing they were training us for the world.
Sure. Yeah. Structures, rules, watch out for the other guy. There's a plan. Yeah, correct. Depending on the game.
Strategy.
Right? Yeah. Thinking ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Emotional regulation, social awareness.
How to take a loss.
Yeah, that's too.
Yeah, the sore loser thing is a big one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather be a abysmal winner than be a sore loser.
You know?
Sure.
And the thing is,
I think the biggest thing too is it teaches you how to succeed within a built structure, instead of just relying on like brute strength to try to muscle your way through. You got to be strategic about it.
Sure.
Operating and again, within the abstract confines of the quote rules.
And
correct.
And the complete opposite. No, you're correct. And I'm learning. Thank you. The complete opposite is just flipping the table. Right? There are those amongst us that just will flip the table. It's like, oh, God bless it. Checkmate. Oh, flip the table.
And this is why we started this tangent with the idea of you need that single mother kid because he's the warrior class. Like, no, that single mother nigga has never played board games. He doesn't really understand the ins and outs of higher level thinking and interaction.
Understood. And mind you, I was raised by one, but I had like extended family. You know what I'm saying? I had, when she would haul me off, or she'd go do what she had to do, school, whatever, I stayed with my aunties. I stayed with my great grandparents, etc. And then I absorbed what they were doing. They were teaching. My grandfather was a mathematician and a chemist for Standard Oil in Indiana. You know what I'm saying? So he had test tubes and shit. And so I was exposed to that. But at the same token, I was exposed to, oh, snap, she's bringing home another nigga at the middle of the night and fight with him. Now I got to get up and try to defend her. You know what I mean? It
Mom
was
is very different from dad.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But, that, again, sticking on topic, to your stream and being respectful to your stream, that's just kind of, it gives me an outer perspective because I had to go inward and not express, outwardly because I wasn't allowed to, but I was able to, hey, you look pretty, girl. Come on, let's talk. Because my uncle was just like, hey, you rapping to the girls? He's making sure I wasn't gay, is what it was. I remember now. It's like, he's from Arkansas. He's just like, hey, you're talking to the girls, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, the girls are, they're cute, blah, blah, blah. And so, on one token, my mom, being a single mother, was she didn't know any better, I think, was trying to drive me down that road of, high heels and dancing and wearing lipstick was one thing. And then on another token, I had these masculine figures like, watch some Star Trek, learn some shit, know how to read, know how to write, etc. So, again, I don't know how that really, my personal story translates, but that's what I have to give to the table as far as this conversation is concerned. As a father of a daughter that is Gen X or Gen Z, excuse me, and it's just like, oh no, sweetheart, just go do your thing, be bold, you're gonna be all right, watch your back, etc.
Yeah, and I
think one major component of the person who said the thing about the family and household structure is that he has a 2-parent structure. Like, he had his home with his kids is there with his wife. He has the 2 parents there. So I think I'm speculating here, but I believe what he wants somebody else's kid to be the canon father and not his, or at least have it to where his kids that he produced from a 2-parent household be the leaders of the basically what he's asking for is community units. Shout out to
Obsidian.
Is that he wants the eunuchs out there to be sacrificing everything and to shed the blood while his kids get to reap the benefits.
That is how I feel about Black
T.S.
Hollywood.
Johnson said the same thing called CompuServes.
Black Hollywood is exactly that. You know, T.I.'s kids ain't never gonna have to do none of the stuff T.I. did, right? And T.I.'s a bad example, but like none of these millionaire boule class actors and entertainers or whatever that believe in the permanent forevolution, they're not gonna put their kids on the front lines of the racial struggle. They're gonna wait till it's over and figure out who won, and then they're gonna go kiss ass all over again.
No, they're gonna put them on the El Gibbet. You know, man, that's the first sacrifice he did. You know,
that's a different move, though. Yeah, that's a completely different thing. Yeah,
yeah, that's yeah, that's different.
Well, no,
yeah, they're just hedging their bets. That's it.
Yeah, freeze on what you were saying.
No, they're just simply hedging their bets. You know what I mean? Having the warrior class go out there as crash test dummies. And the warrior class is always going to lose because they're focusing more on the enemy rather than focusing on systems to actually improve their situation. And when you focus on the enemy, the problem with focusing on the enemy is that you demonize everything the enemy does, which means that you can't utilize the effective strategy that the enemies use. It turns into, you know, you can't do that. That's what they're doing. Like you can't exercise. So even if white folks are using a level of brutality, it becomes demonized to the warrior class side, the way that they do it, even if it's effective, because they're doing it, because you're more focused on the enemy than actually, hey, let me snatch that system because it's effective and find a way to work it into what I'm trying to do to benefit what, you know, even if you're trying to play that game, my group, my whatever, you know what I'm saying? So
you believe your kung fu is more highball round than they so-called karate.
Right. And
right. And so
the guy like 2K, like you were saying, he is practicing Western culture in his own life, but preaching bastard culture to, you know, the crash dummy children.
Yep.
That's it. I'm not mad at it, man, because it's strategically it's an optimal thing for them to do. You see what I'm saying? So yeah,
mud theory. SKC keeps talking about
that's
that.
It.
Somebody has to be the
Can I give y'all an example? Can I give y'all an example of the warrior class and how it might actually be a good or bad thing depending on who's looking at it? Y'all remember Carisha Hood in that situation on the Maxwell hot dog stand here in Chicago, and where she basically got into with a gentleman, and her son came inside with the blicky and defended her.
Yeah,
I remember that.
You know what I remember about that store? There was a sign on the menu that said pork chop on a stick, and I never forgot that shit. I was like, damn, idea.
Come on, man.
That is a G. I might risk it all for a pork chop on a stick.
We ain't got we ain't got no pork. No, that's not Maxwell. If you come in here looking for one, you ask for one, they gonna don't come here looking for that. They're gonna look at you, bro.
Okay, maybe I got the wrong store. I thought that was that one.
No. Up here in Minnesota, we got that.
Okay.
We got walleye on the stick. We got pork chop on the stick. Yeah. It's all good.
Never mind the nigga dance like that pork chop on the stick though.
It's great.
Yeah, bro. I was worried about homeboy dying. I was like, bro, did you see that menu? Nah, but you know what's crazy about that though? That's exactly what 2K was talking about. If you think about it, the son of the single mom willing to crash out no matter what, because you gotta protect your mama. That is like a real phenomenon. Man. Shout out to Black mother privilege, y'all.
I have Black mother privilege. And I'm going to start breaking that down for y'all. Because there is a privilege for me as a Black mother. I'm not going to have the same relationship. My sons adore me. My sons will put their life on the line in a New York minute over me. My sons will lose everything they have over me. Over me? It ain't happening. My sons will turn on their father over me. Over me? So when you ask me about my Black sons, the relationship does not correlate the same to what I'm saying about Black men.
Gentlemen, it's been a long show. We're gonna start to wind this thing down here. I appreciate you guys coming up. Any last thoughts you guys want to put out there?
I'm gonna say I hate that clip. It's triggering. Okay. Good. I can't
stay with me, Ryu. Stay with me. We're all here together.
I be wanting to strangle a motherfucker. I swear to God. But thank you, brother. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. I appreciate you coming up, man. Thanks for your support, by the way. I know you've been around for a long time.
No. I mean, right now you got something coming from me. Things are a little strafe right now, but it's coming, dude.
Hey, times are hard all around, bro. I appreciate the thought that counts and all that stuff. But thanks for being around anyway.
I'll throw it out there when I can.
But all you guys on the panel, everybody in the audience, I really do appreciate all your support. It occurs to me, I've been up here for years and I've built a little core fan base. It's like, I don't know what to think of that, but I really love that shit. Man. I appreciate you guys.
We your hoodlums. That's what we are.
No, we went part of the thing.
Yep. And it'd be great to meet some of y'all in person. Let's just put it that way. Sometime somewhere.
You never know. One day.
It'll be fun. It'd be fun.
Look, SKC. We should pay Hood to keep him going. He needs a 50 ball.
Yeah.
Bribe. You're trying to bribe me to stay on air. I'm running out of topics to talk about. I didn't even have. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 shows lined up, and I can just go from one day to the next. I woke up this morning. I had no idea what I was going to talk about. It was a slow news day. Everything I cared about, I talked about already.
That's not Achilles heel.
No, man. I mean, there's all kinds of, and again, you have this wit and this humor. There's all kinds of stuff. I'd be thinking oh, I wish Hood would touch about this. I wish Hood, just for example, hey, we do Keisha all day, every day, right?
Well,
Keisha's
changing. I told you guys I was going to bring the N files to life, and I just dropped the first video in that installment. I'm doing all my pre-recorded content on the main channel, so if you want to catch the N files, I did just drop that story. Somebody asked me in the chat about those 3 boys in Miami. I haven't touched on that. I try to do a lot of comedic stuff, even when I'm talking about a serious topic, and it's hard to make jokes about that kind of thing. So I hesitate to touch certain topics, but I'm trying to cover a lot more serious things. So I'm gonna work on touching other stuff like that. We're gonna bring out the N files. But like I said, I dropped the first release of the N files series today. And so we're probably gonna cover stuff like that going forward.
I gave you this video for a reason, the Charlie Murphy.
All you want to do is shoot him. Motherfucking right. Fuck niggas. Hey, look.
Yeah.
What you need to realize is that there's a difference between a black man and a black nigga. That was a black nigga.
What the hell are you talking about?
That's what I'm here for. Take a nigga out.
Johnson. That's my gift from me to you.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. It's funny. That is exactly what Freeman's Journal was typing in the chat earlier. White folk are very uncomfortable with that level of racial conversation. But that's desperately what's needed. And the problem, maybe I'll bring this up later for some other kind of content, but that is kind of what's needed right now on a racial front. What I was thinking about? I was joking with somebody about this before. You guys remember Archie Bunker?
Yep. Of course.
All in the family, America's favorite racist. And you know how we're in this mold, we're in the era of racially swapping traditionally white characters for black characters. I really think we need to bring back Archie Bunker, but make him a racist old black man.
Come on, that was George Jefferson, bro.
Right.
That was George Jefferson.
Low-key,
that's Uncle Ruckus.
But I literally want it to be a remake for the modern era. You know how we're remaking everything? I think that's one of those things. So, liberal Hollywood is too gay to do this type of thing, but it's the kind of content and the kind of observational comedy that we could use to sort of lighten the tension a little bit. And because he's an old black man, he's going to be able to get away with it the way Archie Bunker used to get away with it back in the day, because it was just socially acceptable.
I mean, it wasn't a TV show, but that's Steven from Django.
Right, the character, the archetype itself already exists in various forms. Somebody mentioned Ruckus. You got Steven from Django. I think we could kind of condense all that into a remake of All in the Family with an actual older black man, because everything has to be woke now. So all right, I'm gonna subvert your wokeness.
Racist
black man.
Tobias Wells on Black Lightning.
I never watched Black Lightning, but I'm willing to trust.
Oh, you should. You should watch it just with Tobias Wells, bro. He's an albino nigga just talking bad about niggas.
I love him already. I love him already. God damn it, that is a nice touch. Made him albino.
Okay.
Hey, y'all remember? Hey, you gotta make him a cop, like the cop from Boys in the Hood, and also the even more funnier version of Bernie Mac when he was in this. You know, say you gotta make him a cop. You know, like
a retired cop, and every now and then you'll get flashbacks as to why he's such a racist because it started on the force. Because you know that's the thing about being a cop. You almost only catch people on their worst days ever. That's just the nature of being a cop, right? Because once you're talking to a cop, it's automatically the worst day now. Right. And so I think as an old Black guy who used to be a cop, it would perfectly highlight his racism.
Yeah.
I think it would be a hit. I think people will be mad as fuck.
That's the goal. As long as it's funny, though. See, you can get away with a lot when you're charming and funny. Sure. That's my thing. I'm an asshole, but you laugh at me.
Wayne's already ahead of the curve. You see, they already started on Scary Movie 6, and they say, man, we're going to cancel culture, man. F your feelings. They won't be the most offensive. They say this is going to be the most offensive scary movie in history.
I don't know if that's true, because you know, in the movies, they make which one is it? Which one with the high top? The gay one in the movies, I don't think is the gay one in real life. I think in real life, Marlon's the gay one. And Marlon's got a transgender son, so they won't let you go. He's not gonna go all the way. I promise you. That nigga.
Are you talking about Sean?
Yeah, I don't think Sean's the gay one in real life. In real life, I think Marlon's the gay one. And they just, you know, it's a running joke or whatever. But like, nah, I don't think they're gonna go as far as even we want them to go. But it'll probably be further than most kids go.
I mean, you might be right because Marlon's the only one. I believe Marlon's the only one that's been like trained in theater. Like actually went to school for it.
No, so therefore he's a thespian, right?
He's a kid. Yeah, him and Tupac was good friends. Y'all forgot. I mean, well, they all theater kids, man, with the lisp and shit.
Thespian, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Hell, yeah, I don't got that Alfonso Ribeiro more hooded than some of these dudes in Hollywood. He from what Alfonso from? He from Queens or Brooklyn?
I think he's from Queens. Yo, he used to be in a tunnel back when they was snatching chains and cutting faces, bro. Alfonso Carlton was in a tunnel like, yeah, nigga, what? It was a crazy time. Hollywood is such a fascinating thing when you think about it, but you know, we all grew up in a series of lies and mirages. You know, all of our childhoods were fake and gay. Maturing is realizing that.
Sure.
But guys, I have to wrap it up. I don't want to take any more donations. I gotta go. I really gotta go. Appreciate all you guys coming out and supporting me today. But we'll be back tomorrow, and I'm gonna work on some edited content. I got videos I gotta work on. Like I literally am video editing right now, so I got some videos to drop. I'll be back later tomorrow with another show. I appreciate all you guys coming out, hanging out with me today. But thank you for coming up. Hit that like button on your way out, guys. Shout out to the panel. Everybody thank all the guests on the panel today. They made the show.
You, everybody, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get to come up much. But
yeah, take their rights away.
Shout out to Deacon Dave trying to keep me up here for a little bit longer.
It's all good. Thank you, Hood, man. Thank you.
I appreciate y'all coming out, man. Thank y'all so much for watching the show today. Like, share, and subscribe, y'all.
It's Uncle Remus spinning his warm, funny stories.
What black women are doing, I don't care. They're their own group. When they decide to work with us, they will. Otherwise, they won't. And they don't have to. They have their own power, their own productivity. They don't need us for anything. And I'm okay with that.
The key to happiness is to eliminate all black women from your life. I mean, look at me. No black women in my life. Look how happy I am. I'm happy as a nigga with a new gun.
Now, Ruckus, that is preposterous.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
What black community? It's a black environment with black women and black children in it.
Ugh.
A lot of people seem to not understand me.
Science proves that the black woman is God. We're not just saying that.
And the black and Latino woman, they manifested themselves out of dark matter energy. All right.
I believe the black woman is God.
Black woman, God. I don't believe God, no man. I believe God, a black woman.
The black woman is God.
But my number one subject matter is the black woman is God. That's first and foremost.
Black woman is God.
The black woman is still God.
You're God, black woman.
The black woman is God. She is the creator. She is the sustainer. She is the provider. She is the first teacher of the children. She is everything to the black race.
But don't get it wrong. I am still a white man's whore.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.